With Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR and on the WJR app, where Michigan comes to talk.
All right, welcome in. Good to have you on a Thursday. We'll have to talk about once again today, but my goodness, it's like a holiday.
It is.
Kickoff of the NCAA tournament, Michigan and Michigan State both playing today. We get a back-to-back. Michigan State tips at 4:05, and you'll hear that. Our pregame starts at 3 o'clock here on WJR. Fire it up, Jason.
Get it to go.
Let's go. Get the juices flowing here on a Thursday. Yes. Yeah. Our coverage starts at 3 o'clock here on WJR. Spartans tip at 4:05. Michigan, they tip off at 7:10. Why are you laughing at me? What's the matter?
It's not that. Okay. Just go.
This guy, he's like, this dude is out of his mind. Jamie, happy tournament.
Good morning. Yeah, happy. It's a holiday in our house. Not much work after 11, 12 o'clock is going to happen here.
Oh, yeah. Right. I'm sure.
Do you guys just hunker down? Do you just sit down and watch the whole first day if you can?
There will be basketball on our televisions from this moment on for like several weeks now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how it is too. We did our family bracket last night.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, these kids don't know what they're talking about. They are. I got Queens. Henry's got Queens riding to the Final Four. They don't know ball at all, at all. And I tried not to color their perspective, but they're gonna have fun with it. But it's a great time of year. It's fun, and even if you don't like if you're not a big college basketball fan, if you're not dialed in, it's a great time. It's fun. Because you see, everybody loves the Cinderella stories.
And you always get one, usually.
Usually you get something.
Yes.
I do wonder, I don't know about you, Jamie. To me, I do wonder a little bit how this is going to, the last couple years we've seen less Cinderellas, but, with the transfers and the NIL, all of those really good players that are on these small teams, they're leaving. They're coming to play with these bigger programs. So I wonder how that's going to impact things again.
Yeah, there is a mid-major problem here when it comes to the NIL and the transfer portal and all of that. But every so often, you're going to get one of these fun stories throughout this tournament. And I think we're still going to have a Cinderella.
Yeah, I hope so. It's one of the best parts about the tournament.
I just filled out my bracket, and I feel like I don't have enough upsets.
Ever
fill it out and feel that way?
I always feel that way. Always feel that way. Never have enough upsets. All right, let's talk about it. Mark Wayne Mullen testified yesterday before a House Senate committee. And I got to be honest, it started off very weird. First of all, I was watching C-SPAN from the moment I got home until it was kid time. And the Mark Wayne Mullen confirmation hearing was bizarre. It was bizarre because there's obviously some bad blood between he and Rand Paul.
Absolutely.
They don't like each other.
No, they don't.
And it stems from this incident back in 2017 when Rand Paul got in some little kerfuffle, little altercation with one of his neighbors.
Yeah.
And it was more than a kerfuffle. It was pretty embarrassing, I think, for a U.S. senator to pretend to fight or try and fight and say, let's go outside.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Regardless, Rand Paul gets hurt. Like, he got beat up. Like, he had broken ribs, had to have part of his lung removed or something. It was crazy, right?
Yeah.
And so he took it as the time to go ahead and have this airing of the grievances with Mark Wayne Mullen at the committee hearing.
Instead of explaining your vote to continue these welfare programs for refugees, you decided to transfer the blame. You told the media that I was a freaking snake and that you completely understood why I had been assaulted.
Mark Wayne Mullen's like, I thought I was here because I'm going to be the DHS secretary. What are we doing?
No, we got to talk about that.
Rand Paul was trying to connect the dots of like, you went out and you were like, you didn't condemn this. You weren't upset about it.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the position of our next DHS secretary, somebody who advocates for political violence.
Well, yeah, I think he was going after character and fitness. Should this be someone who leads a department?
Yeah.
I thought it was a strange time to bring that up.
Yeah, well,
but
they got bad blood.
They got bad blood.
To kind of
it was
poke him a little bit.
It was very obvious. Yeah. Meanwhile, Mark Wayne Mullen set out what he wants his goals to be as the next secretary of DHS.
My goal is for people to understand we're out there, we're protecting them, and we're working with them. My goal is to make every one of you guys proud. My goal for those that don't support me, regret not supporting me.
So he's making his case, and he will be confirmed. There was another interesting byline of that yesterday where it was actually between he and Gary Peters. Gary Peters had sent him a letter to respond to travel outside of the United States. And Markwayne Mullin responded. And one of the things he said, though, he said that he did travel outside of the United States. It was a confidential situation. He could provide no details on it. And Gary Peters was like, well, wait, hold on. You didn't say that in my letter back.
Mhm.
What is this? Like, can you tell us about it? He's like, no, it's confidential. I can't tell you about it. I can't tell you anything about it. He's like, it was when I was in the house and it was like me and 3 other people. That's it. And they're like, where'd you go? What'd you do? He's like, can't tell you. And so it became a flashpoint of like, what was the secret thing that Markwayne Mullin did? Nobody knows what about. Nobody knows anything about it. Nobody knows what it is. And so they were going to leave that hearing and go to the SCIFs. There are these areas where you can talk about confidential information. And that was the latest, that they were going to go do that. So what came of it, we don't know. Regardless of the personal animosity between he and Rand Paul, it seemed like they were going to go ahead today to vote in committee to then send it to the Senate. So it doesn't sound like they're going to stall on that front at all.
A takeaway I took from the hearing also is he said, quote, my goal is that we're not going to lead every story every day. Like this department became sort of, a PR problem for the administration. And he said he does not want that they are going to be low key doing their work.
J.D. Vance was in town yesterday.
Yeah.
He spoke in Auburn Hills.
He was, urging Michigan voters to double down on Donald Trump's policies, even as he acknowledges the rough road ahead with rising gas prices. And speaking in Auburn Hills, he campaigned for Republican candidates ahead of November's critical elections, pointing to gains in auto sales and pushing for lower taxes and fewer regulations. But his visit became as gas prices here in Michigan climbed to nearly $3.90 a gallon, up sharply from last year. Amid this ongoing conflict involving the U.S., Israel, and Iran, Vance admitted higher fuel prices are hurting families, but called the spike just temporary. He also asked addressed election security, saying there are no plans for federal intervention, while emphasizing the need for safe and secure voting.
If you believe, as I do, that the American people are sovereign in their own country, then you have to believe that their vote should be protected. And the only way to fully protect their vote is to prevent fraudsters from coming and voting in American elections.
And the visit highlights the high stakes here in Michigan, where voters will soon choose not just a new governor, but also a U.S. senator as well.
He also talked about...
Yeah,
go ahead, Jamie.
Temple Israel. Is that what you're going to say? He mentioned how awful that attack was on our Jewish neighbors here in America. He said it's disgusting. Everybody's in their prayers. And he also mentioned the security guard, Danny Phillips, who was injured in that ambush, and how people are thinking about him and how he's a hero.
Yeah, it was. I was glad to hear him. I mean, I figured he would mention it, but it was good to hear him mention it. Alyssa Slotkin in that Markwayne Mullin hearing yesterday also talked about the attack. So it is clearly on top of their minds as well, which is a good thing. What's up with Kwame?
Federal prosecutors.
They found some dough.
Yeah, they say they uncovered more than $13,000 tied to the former mayor as they continue efforts to recover about $823,000 he owes taxpayers from his corruption conviction. According to a court filing, the money found in a Comerica bank account under a consulting firm linked to his wife, Letitia Kilpatrick. Prosecutors argue the account is simply a front and that the funds belong to Kilpatrick. The discovery comes just weeks after Kilpatrick reached a sealed agreement with federal officials to repay the debt following years of legal battles over his finances. Prosecutors have accused him of having a luxury lifestyle while avoiding restitution payments. So they found 13 big ones in the bank.
Interesting. We're going to take a break. Coming up on the other side, judges are saying there are hundreds of immigrants illegally jailed in the state of Michigan. There was a court hearing yesterday. We'll talk about it coming up on JR Morning.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well,
that
trying
was
to find
perfect,
a
Jamie.
needle in a
Everything was
haystack,
clear.
But not with ZipRecruiter. Its
Excellent.
powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. African Americans are the most likely to die.
We did movie quotes yesterday, but I'm going to do it again next week.
Starting at age 45.
You're
Was it fun?
Medicare
That was
and
good.
insurance
That was good.
companies are required
It's a
to
nice
cover
little change
not
of
only
pace.
colonoscopy, but also less invasive exams like virtual colonoscopy. Talk to your doctor about your options. For more information on virtual colonoscopy, visit radiologyinfo.org/virtual CT.
Furnished by the American College of Radiology and the Radiology Health Equity Coalition.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Every business starts with an idea. With smart business buying from Amazon Business, get everything you need to grow in one familiar place. From office supplies to IT essentials and maintenance tools. Ready to bring your visions to life? Learn how at AmazonBusiness.com.
Even if you've given up on your New Year's resolutions, one health habit that's easy to keep is Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Online at Amazon, in stores at CVS, Walgreens, and now GNC.
Hockey fans love the fast-paced action, but not the big league price? Check out Team USA Hockey. Get more excitement and more hockey for less. This Saturday, score big with 2 tickets for just $30 when Team USA hosts Dubuque. Score 2 for 30 tickets at USAHockeyNTDP.com.
Life is beautiful and fragile. We fall. We get tired. And sometimes we get sick. But with Corewell Health, we are also strong. We fight disease. We battle cancer. We come together. We come back. We push forward. When the body breaks, we break through. Corewell Health. We can.
Thinking about installing a home EV charger? Lighthouse Electric has EV charger installs starting as low as $6.99. Call 888-91-LIGHT. From service upgrades to new construction and remodels, call Lighthouse Electric. 888-91-LIGHT. That's 888-91-LIGHT.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members buy more and save more, like up to 25% off select molding when you spend $1,000 or more. Shop Pro Savings Days deals now at Lowe's. Valid through 3/27. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Visit the Pro Desk or Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
One crash on the roads right now. Westbound 696 at Woodward. It's off to the right shoulder. Westbound Grand River after 8 Mile. Right lane is closed there till 3 p.m. tomorrow. And 2 right lanes are closed on westbound M14 between 275 and Sheldon Road until 5 p.m. Saturday. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Lombardo Apartments. Looking for luxury living without the stairs? Welcome to Everly of Macomb. Beautiful ranch-style luxury apartments designed for comfort, convenience, and style. Visit everlyofmacomb.com for more information on their specials, including 1 month free rent on a new lease. Here's your forecast.
Little damp weather around this morning, hopefully not slowing you down too much. Some widely scattered showers, otherwise cloudy this afternoon and getting a little bit milder now, 48. Tonight, 35, mainly cloudy. Suburbs will be a little chillier and a few showers around tomorrow, 57. And then partly sunny on Saturday, close to 60 degrees. Chance of showers on Sunday through about early afternoon and high 55. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
The Dan Bongino Show.
It's our movement, okay? It's ours. We
Jamie,
built it. Hard truths. Remember, I just told you, flooding the zone with facts not related to evidence is not getting to truth, it's obscuring it. Don't accuse me of partisan bias here. This show tries to get to a truth lodestar by showing you things called evidence, not random facts unrelated to the point. Well, let's get to truth. Let's produce actual evidence. There's always a choice, man.
The Dan Bongino Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Back in 20 there.
For the 28th straight year, Michigan State is dancing in the NCAA men's tournament, taking on North Dakota State this afternoon. Hear every moment of Spartan basketball starting at 3 p.m. The Spartans play here on 760 WJR.
So some federal judges here in Michigan say that hundreds of immigrants were jailed illegally here in the state, and the ACLU had a hearing about it yesterday.
Yeah, a Venezuelan man came to the U.S. in 2023 seeking safety after applying for asylum and receiving temporary protection. He had been living and working in Michigan for nearly 3 years, but late last year, the 29-year-old Ypsilanti resident was suddenly detained in an immigration facility without a bond hearing or clear timeline for release. And the ACLU of Michigan represents multiple people in detention cases, all set to be heard by a federal appeals court this week. And joining us to discuss the legal questions that this raises is Ramos Wadood. He is with the ACLU of Michigan. Ramos, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
I want to ask you about this case with Carlos Santo Domingo Sanchez. He was a former police officer. He followed the legal process. He applied for asylum, even had temporary protection. How does someone like that end up detained without even a bond hearing?
Yeah, well, I'm.
This guy's a staff attorney with the ACLU.
This individual's story resembles hundreds, if not thousands, of people around the country who have been suddenly picked up by immigration officials and thrown in detention without the possibility of release. Now, this represents a stark departure from the last 30 years of government practice of providing people like this with the opportunity to fight their immigration cases from home if they're picked up by immigration agents. And so this, for the first time, effectively in U.S. history, potentially millions of people are at risk of being detained without the possibility of release until the immigration case is concluded.
And, you know, when people hear immigration detention, they often assume, you know, serious criminal history. But in cases like these, you know, many of these detainees had no record at all. So what's the disconnect between public messaging and what you're actually seeing?
Right. The messaging for some reason has been that we're going after the worst of the worst. We're going after people with serious criminal histories. But in reality, almost every person I've talked to has had nothing more than a traffic offense on their record. And so what we're seeing is people who have been living perfectly innocent, normal lives for years, even decades in the United States, being suddenly picked up after a traffic stop by a local police officer. The local police officer calls their friends at ICE or the Border Patrol, and then immigration gets involved. And simply because the government can detain them, they choose to do so. And again, these people have no criminal records other than maybe a traffic violation.
My question is, in this particular story, this person was seeking asylum and was granted it. So isn't that the legal process that this country has to sort of enter?
Right. This person was following the process that our laws provide, which is to seek asylum if you fear persecution in your home country. This person was going through the process. If you're going through the process, you have an entitlement not only to stay, but to work in the United States. And so this person, yes, was following the process, but was still detained nonetheless. And luckily, it was released after, filing a lawsuit in federal court, getting a federal judge to recognize how ridiculous this was.
What are the status of some of these other cases that these judges are saying of these folks that have entered the United States? What's their status? Do they share similar stories where they are asylum seekers? They were granted valid asylum here in the United States. What's their status?
Well, they're all seeking a variety of different forms of relief, whether that's asylum. There are other, technical terms. One's called cancellation of removal. The other's called withholding of removal. But essentially, they all have an argument that they should be able to stay here permanently, whether that is with a permanent status like a green card or citizenship, or whether that's just the ability to stay with their families here in the U.S.
Have they followed? Have they followed all of the guidelines that they need to follow leading up to their detainment, or were they not up to date on some of these court appearances, things like that?
Yeah, well, as far as seeking that relief, everybody that I've talked to is following the process, whether that's the process to seek cancellation of removal, the process to seek asylum, the process to seek withholding of removal. The way that these folks got into this situation is that years, maybe decades ago, the government alleges that they crossed the border without, being inspected by an immigration official. But since that moment, the daily presence they've had here, the months, the years, the decades, has been free of any crime, serious crimes. They've been building families here. They've married U.S. citizen spouses, had U.S. citizen children, take jobs, support their families, are an integral part of their communities. And so, at this stage in their lives here, they pretty much all have an argument that they should be able to stay, a legal argument, not just a moral argument. And they should be able to pursue those forms of relief.
Speaking with Ramus Wadood, staff attorney for the Michigan ACLU. And Ramus, there's a major appeals court case happening right now that could impact, hundreds of detainees in Michigan. What's at stake in that decision?
Yeah, what's at stake is not just hundreds, but probably thousands of people in Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee are waiting on this decision from an appeals court to determine, can I be released while my immigration case proceeds, or does the government really have the right, which no one has recognized the government has had this right for the last 30 years, to detain me for the months, maybe even years it takes for my claim for immigration relief to be processed.
And, even when detainees win in court and get a bond hearing, there's still a lot of them are still not released. Why is that?
Yeah, well, bond is a discretionary decision by an immigration judge. There's a whole court system for immigration issues. And so, there are requirements for bond, which is that a judge has to find that there's no risk that you're going to flee and not show up for your next court hearing, and that you don't pose a risk, a danger to the community. So that's a case-by-case individual decision. I can't speak to any specific case.
Okay.
People have been granted bond. People haven't been granted bond. But what's being fought for in this case is the opportunity to make your case before a judge that you should go home to your family and fight your case from there.
Ramus Wadood, staff attorney for the Michigan ACLU. Appreciate you coming on. We'll be keeping an eye on this, as we know you will as well. Thank you so much. This is a big deal. A lot of people are waiting to hear what the appeals court does. I mean, it could really make a difference with a lot of folks.
Well, I think if there's two ways to look at it, if people were granted asylum into the United States, even if they didn't necessarily qualify, if they didn't meet all the parameters,
right?
But when millions of people came across the border and they were granted that asylum, if they're following through on that process,
yeah,
I don't know why you would be detaining them. We may not like that, but that might just be the case, or they're just flouting it, and then that'll play out in the process as well.
How do you feel about the U.S.-Iran conflict? We'll talk about it next at 6:35.
Thank you for calling the Complete Battery Source.
This is probably a long shot, but you guys have batteries for a...
Yep, got that.
But you didn't even hear what I was looking for.
Don't need to. We're your complete battery source. The answer is pretty much always, yep, got that.
But what if I want a battery for a...
Yep, got that.
I haven't been able to find a battery anywhere for my...
Yep, got that. Look, Complete Battery Source has batteries for everything that uses batteries. Your tablet, your car, cordless drill, camera, smartphone, your laptop computer, your remote, your bulldozer, backhoe, Bluetooth speaker, motorcycle, lawn tractor, your boat, your watch, your flashlight, even your grandma's hearing aid. When you think you need a battery for something that uses batteries, we'll bring that something in and we'll test your old battery before we sell you a new one.
That's great.
That's right. All you got to do is come into any one of the 5 Complete Battery Source locations: Brighton, Southfield, Ypsilanti, Okemos, and Houghton Lake. Call toll-free 877-ALL-BATS or click on yepgotthat.com. 5 locations. Now you got that?
Yep, got that. But what about a battery for my...
Yep, got that.
Or a battery for my...
Yep, got that.
And for my wife's...
Yep, got that.
The Spartans play here. 760 WJR.
Hockey fans love the fast-paced action, but not the big league price? Check out Team USA Hockey. Get more excitement and more hockey for less. This Saturday, score big with 2 tickets for just $30 when Team USA hosts Dubuque. Score 2 for 30 tickets at USAHockeyNTDP.com.
Custom built for Detroit. 760 WJR.
When it comes to keeping your job site safe and your gear ready to work, Skyworks Equipment Rental has you covered. Right now, get an annual equipment inspection for just $99 plus any applicable taxes. Upon inspection, any needed parts or labor will be quoted before it begins. No surprises, just reliability. Mention WJR's Inside Outside guys to lock in this special offer. Visit skyworks-reliablerentals.com. That's skyworks-reliablerentals.com and keep your equipment working as hard as you do this spring.
News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. Gas prices up another 8 cents today, hitting $3.88 on average as Israel and Iran continue to strike oil infrastructure in the Middle East.
Yesterday, the Israelis launched a series of airstrikes against facilities linked to Iran's South Pars gas field. And immediately, the Iranians responded with strikes against that facility, the Ras Laffan industrial city in Qatar. This is the largest liquefied natural gas export facility in the world.
Fox's Trey Yang's top intelligence leaders headed back to Capitol Hill to face the House Intel Committee for its annual worldwide threats hearing.
House members likely to press for answers on where the war with Iran stands and what led to the president's decision to strike. On Wednesday, senators had a chance to talk with the intelligence community, asking about how they got mixed messages about Iran's nuclear capabilities.
That's Fox's Mark Meredith. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by WeatherBug.
Get the fastest local alerts and accurate 24/7 forecasts with WeatherBug. It's easy to use and provides real-time customizable alerts so the weather never takes you by surprise. Plan every day with confidence. Download the free WeatherBug app from the App Store now.
Westbound 696 at Woodward, still have a crash off to the right shoulder this morning. Also in Troy on DeQuinder at 15 Mile, we have an accident. Westbound Grand River after 8 Mile, right lane is closed there till 3 p.m. tomorrow. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Paramount Roofing. Need a new roof without the stress? Paramount Roofing makes it easy. Get an instant free roof quote right now at weareroofing.com. Built to last and back for life with no money down and 5 years, 0% interest. Residential or commercial, Experience Roofing the easy way. Paramount Roofing, a 5-star roofing experience made easy. Cloudy with a slight chance of rain showers today, a high of 49. Right now, it's 32. Clouds tonight and a low of 34. Cloudy and warmer tomorrow, high of 60. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Sponsored by Femininio Law. GetDavidGetPaid.com. Traffic and weather is sponsored by Femininio Law. Get David, get paid.
Only Femininio Law has the accident response team, crisis counselors, medical experts, forensic specialists who lock down the evidence before it disappears. When you're hurt, you need action. Call 855-65-CRASH or visit GetDavidGetPaid.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Never miss
The Daily Dose.
The Daily Dose.
The Daily Dose.
The Daily Dose
of Deets.
The Daily Dose of Deets. The top of mind topics and stories.
Because America keeps building, innovating, and growing.
But at a depth and breadth that only Kevin Dietz can conceive.
Love doesn't have to be built on these grand gestures.
It's Can't Miss Radio.
You can't fake that kind of leadership Verlander is going to be able to bring to Scooball.
Kevin's own unique take on news and entertainment that'll get you talking all day.
Social media should not get a pass just because it's digital.
And into tomorrow. The Daily Dose of Dietz. First thing out of the gate on All Talk with Kevin Dietz. Weekdays at 9 on WJR.
Make your splash at the Backyard Pool and Spa Show, March 20th through 22nd at the Vide Credit Union Showplace, formerly known as Suburban Collection Showplace. Shop the best selection and biggest savings on the newest hot tubs, swim spas, pools, and accessories.
Meadowbrook Theater invites you to Come From Away, the hit Broadway musical that follows the true story during the 9/11 attacks. 38 planes and over 6,000 passengers forced to land in Gander, Newfoundland, doubling the population of one small town on the edge of the world. For tickets, call 248-377-3300. That's 248-377-3300, or visit Ticketmaster.com. See Come From Away at Meadowbrook Theater.
On your ride home, check out the Mitch Albom Show at 4 p.m. Now to get your day started, here's JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds.
All right, 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. Yesterday, I went and got gas, guys. Paid $3.99 for gas yesterday.
Yeah, I got gas too at my usual spot, BJ's. It was $3.24. And I had a little less than a half a tank. So I said, okay, I'll just fill up. I want to see how much it costs. It was $32. And it usually would cost me $32 to fill up my car.
The average cost for a gallon of gas in the middle of January was $2.84. So I paid $1.11 more.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot more.
Yes.
And I guess I'm just wondering where people are at now, because, this idea of the United States taking action against Iran, the administration has talked about, well, no, we should have done this a lot sooner. The United States has always been kind of looking over their shoulder. Israel's always been looking over their shoulder. What Iran's doing, are they going to be nuclear capable at some point? And we can't have that. And this brutal regime should have been taken on head on much earlier. And this administration's doing it. We've heard that, right? Well, I'm just curious where, if you voted for Donald Trump, what do you think about this at this juncture? Now, maybe it's too premature, right? They talked about 4 or 5 weeks. We're not at that point yet.
No.
But I'm just curious where people are at, because when you're paying $1 more than you were 2 months ago, that is impactful. That is meaningful. And what have we been hearing about for the better part of now years is affordability, and things aren't affordable and people are still paying too much for things. So I'm just curious where you're at now as we sit here today on March 19th with this now conflict continuing to rage, with prices continuing to go up, at least on the gas pump. And JD Vance talked about it yesterday, said the gas prices are going to come down when this is over. Those prices are going to come down pretty quickly, but that's not now. And so you're still feeling that. Jamie, where are you at? Where are you at on this? What's your feelings?
Oil soared past $115, and now maybe natural gas prices are going to go up because of the attacks on the Middle Eastern energy infrastructure, that happened yesterday. So I think that prices are going to be hitting people hard. And as you know, it's still winter here in Michigan, even though it's supposed to be somewhat spring. So I think people are going to feel it.
Oh, no, I 100% agree. People are feeling it at the gas pump, but as you know, a lot of our foods and things are trucked in, and so those trucks are paying more for fuel, which they're going to pass to the customer as far as our food prices going up. If you want to take a vacation, and it's spring break time right now, and if you want to buy a airplane ticket, those tickets are going to be a little more because jet fuel is going to be more, and so it's all going to trickle in, but people are feeling it.
Here's the other part too. Is I was watching, I think it was NBC. They went out and to a heavy Trump district and asked voters what they thought about what was going on. And you got a mixed bag. Whereas I feel like normally there wouldn't be a mixed bag. No. Like one lady was like, I cannot believe we are in another war with another country that we have nothing to do with. Right. And the perspective that she had is like, if that regime is going to continue to be in place, that's their problem. That ain't my problem. If those people there want to rise up and take the government back, that's their problem, not my problem. And I think that that's a sentiment of a lot of Republicans now. is why are we getting involved? Why are we inserting ourselves, getting involved in this regime, this country, this population of 90 million people? Well, we do that. The answer is because of the nuclear
Nukes, of course,
possibilities that Iran is working towards.
Sure.
And then, of course, you've got the Israel aspect, a strong ally in the region. And so there is that play there. But she was saying, well, hold on a second. I voted for you because you talked about not going to war.
No more
you
wars.
talked about not dedicating our tax dollars, our money, when we have a skyrocketing debt towards something like this. And I understand it. Maybe she feels like she got the rug pulled out from under them. But then there were other Trump supporters that said, no, good, all good. This is something we should have done. Other presidents should have done it. Hillary Clinton talked about when she ran for president the first time, if she were to win, she was going to go in and face Iran head up. So that exists.
Yeah.
We know that that's a real thing. But now that it's here, now that we, again, it's been a chaotic handful of years here coming out of the pandemic. So people are still like, well, hold on. I don't even feel like we've recovered from the high prices of things since then. So I get where people are coming from.
Well, I think it goes back to, again, these leaders on Capitol Hill yesterday explain why there was an imminent threat right now to do this. And that is the message that I think has gotten garbled. And we talked to, John Rakolta yesterday. It was like Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And everybody agrees with that. But were they days away? Where is the information that is true? I thought that we obliterated their nuclear facilities last June. That was the message coming out of those strikes, remember?
Right.
Yeah. And as part of the intel officials yesterday also testified to Congress. Here's Tulsi Gabbard, the head of DNI, and John Ossoff, the senator from Georgia, talking about intelligence and whose job it is to determine what a threat really is.
It is not the intelligence community's responsibility to determine what is and is not an imminent threat.
Okay.
That is up to
Here's
the
the
president
problem.
based on a volume
No,
of
it is
information
precisely
that he receives.
it is precisely your responsibility.
So he's saying, okay, so you're gathering the intel and then you pass that along to the president. Her contention is, well, it's not our job to decide what a threat is.
We just get the intel,
We
pass
get
it
the
along.
information and pass it along.
Yeah.
So it's semantics a little bit, but if could the DNI, the Department of National Intelligence, also says the Iran regime is intact but not degraded. So this idea of all of a sudden these people, this 3/4 of the Iranian people that don't want to be under this oppressive heel of this regime, that they're going to just rise up. It doesn't feel like that's anywhere close to happening when the regime is still intact. So the information gathering, the passing along, what's a threat, what isn't. Obviously, somebody determined that there was a threat.
Yeah. Yeah.
What that means, whether it's a threat to the homeland, right? We heard about those reports of some ship with drones off the coast of California.
Yeah.
Or if that's a threat to our installments in the Middle East, somebody determined it was a threat, but nobody wants to take ownership of that decision.
Well, I think the director of national intelligence, the FBI director, the CIA director, that's their job. They are the information gatherers, and they tell the president of imminent threats. So that question was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody's got a role here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you say like, oh, Jimmy just walked into a store. He has a history of stealing candy. Well, is there a threat that he is going to steal candy? Who's going to make that decision? Somebody's got to make the decision on Jimmy stealing candy.
Exactly.
And if it's a threat that he just walked into that store. So I don't know. It's again, I think it's unclear for a lot of people about what's happening here. And then you got to go fill up and you're like, oh my God, I got to pay $4 for a gallon of gas.
Yeah. 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 And it's going to be even more.
So the info isn't jiving and now I'm paying more for what? And I think that's part of the area where people are stuck.
And the Feds kept the interest rates the same yesterday. No cut in the interest rates because, the prices are climbing right now. They don't want to disturb what's going on.
Jerome Powell said that he thought the economy was on steady ground.
Yeah.
That things were improving. And so this isn't the time to see yet another rate decrease.
And the Pentagon asked for $200 billion too for the war.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. More coming up. Also, Markwayne Mullen testified yesterday. We'll bring you what some he had to say coming up on JR Morning.
Women's History Month brought to you by Progressive. The colors that represent Women's History Month are purple, green, and white. They date back to the British women's movement of 1908. Purple for justice and dignity, green for hope, and white for purity of purpose. Today, these colors celebrate the women who broke through barriers and continue to shape our future. And now a Progressive ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. See if you could save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE or progressive.com.
DQ presents the Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ Soft Serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into Soft Serve, plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation may vary.
This is Maria Monti, tax partner at Metro Detroit accounting firm Schindel Rock, with our weekly tax tip for business owners. Whether you just started your business or have been in business for many years, you should make sure your current entity structure still makes sense. Tax laws are always changing, and the tax structure you started out with may not be as effective for what your business is today or what it will be in the future. Schindel Rock helps Metro Detroit businesses solve complex tax matters. Learn more at SchindelRock.com.
As the sounds, smells, and warmth of spring have finally arrived here in Michigan, so has the threat of those nasty spring storms. Many of us have gotten caught off guard with power outages that storms can leave behind. My friends at Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical are here to help. There is no company I trust more because I know the family, I know the company, and I know none of their people work on commission. This year, be ready for Mother Nature with a reliable standby generator. Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical offers generator installations, maintenance, and repairs. If your generator is not serviced by a certified technician, it will void the manufacturer's warranty. And if you don't receive maintenance after 200 hours of runtime, that can also void your warranty. The technicians at Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical are Generac certified to keep your generator working. With locations in Garden City, Madison Heights, and White Lake, they've been serving Southeast Michigan for over 55 years. Visit FamilyHeating.com to schedule your free estimate today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. African Americans are the most likely to die from colorectal cancer. So please get screened starting at age 45. Now, Medicare and insurance companies are required to cover not only colonoscopy, but also less invasive exams like virtual colonoscopy. Talk to your doctor about your options. For more information on virtual colonoscopy, visit radiologyinfo.org/virtual CT.
Furnished by the American College of Radiology and the Radiology Health Equity Coalition.
Hockey fans, love the fast-paced action, but not the big league price? Check out Team USA Hockey. Get more excitement and more hockey for less. This Saturday, score big with 2 tickets for just $30 when Team USA hosts Dubuque. Score 2 for 30 tickets at USAHockeyNTDP.com.
Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen Sundays at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by Dr. Robert Livernoy. Sponsored by Must Construction Careers. Learn more at mustcareers.org.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Having trouble sleeping? Visit Mattress Firm during the Upgrade Your Sleep sale. Their sleep experts will help find your perfect bed from a premium selection of top brands. They make sleep easy.
Westbound 696 at Woodward. Still have a crash off to the right shoulder this morning. Northbound Telegraph at 94, an accident there. Same story on DeQuinder at 15 Mile in Troy. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the National Electrical Contractors Association, NECA. Put the expertise and skill of NECA contractors to work on your commercial, industrial, or public electrical construction project. NECA members like Matic Electric are powering Michigan's future, project after project, on time and on budget. Learn more at smcneca.org. Here's your forecast.
All right, good push now. Milder air continuing to settle on in this morning for the drive. Still some scattered showers around. Don't see a bunch, but some. Mostly cloudy this afternoon. Near seasonable temperatures, 48. Tonight, 35. That's actually above average by half a dozen. Mainly cloudy.
Back at 30, Jamie.
In spots. Tomorrow, a few showers around. First day of spring, by the way, 57. Saturday, partly sunny. Nice start to the weekend, 60. But a few showers around Sunday through about early afternoon with a high 55. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
My goal is for people to understand we're out there, we're protecting them, and we're working with them. My goal is to make every one of you guys proud. My goal for those that don't support me, regret not supporting me.
That's Senator Markwayne Mullin. He testified yesterday to senators on Capitol Hill on the Homeland Security Committee. And, I thought he was fine. I didn't think that there was anything that would, any blunder that would have prevented his appointment to this job of Department of Homeland Security Secretary. Yeah. But there were still some notable moments, including this back and forth between he and Rand Paul.
I'm not apologizing for pointing out your character.
Good. So you're jolly well fine, and you want the American public and the people up here to vote that may or may not vote for you to know that you supported the felonious, violent attack on me from behind.
I did not say I supported it. I said I understood it.
So they obviously do not like each other.
No, they don't.
That's very clear. It was strange that it got out the way that it did, and it was talked about the way that it did. I understand what Rand Paul was doing, trying to basically, as you put it, Jamie, earlier, a character assassination. To me, it felt very out of place. It felt uncomfortable. But it was odd yesterday. But I don't think anything really happened for Markwayne Mullin to potentially block him from becoming the secretary.
So. Well, like when they judge attorneys on if they should pass the bar, there's a character and fitness test. And that's what I was saying. Like he was saying, look, if a senator is going to say like it's appropriate for someone to be attacked, do you think that's an appropriate person to be in a department role? That's what he was doing.
Yeah, and I think Markwayne Mullin was like, well, I didn't say that.
No.
But he wasn't.
I just said I understood it.
Yeah, he wasn't.
But it's the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Also, he talked about the lack of DHS funding.
We're putting our homeland and the peace of mind at risk for the American people. Sometimes it's political theater. Sometimes it's true differences. But what we do know is that we're playing with fire.
I would agree with that. I mean, I think that there is a level of you're playing a game of chicken here.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you don't want to be caught flat-footed, whether there's a natural disaster, whether there's a serious problem in the Coast Guard, whether you just want people to be able to travel in the airports. I mean, the fact that so many things are being impacted by this lack of funding for DHS is problematic, and not to mention all of the potential threats that are coming here on the homeland as a result of this war with Iran. So it is problematic, but it's something that is obviously very much on Markwayne Mullin's mind.
Yeah, and if you want like TSA agents to come to work and support Americans traveling, like there have been so many people who've resigned or gone on to other jobs, and when this all ends, are we going to have enough TSA agents?
Yeah,
that's the thing. I think it's been like 366 who have quit so far.
Top administrative officials in publicly blaming and
yeah. 366 have left and taken other jobs. So, and they're climbing every day. It's more every day that are leaving.
You also had Intel officials talking yesterday, including the head of the CIA, John Radcliffe, about Iran.
I think Iran has been a constant threat to the United States for an extended period of time and posed an immediate threat.
So he says they posed an immediate threat. You've got the dude who just resigned as the top counterterrorism official saying that there was no immediate threat, no imminent threat on the United States. And again, what are we supposed to take? We as not media, we as in people.
The American people.
The community.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to take from all of this information back and forth? It's like a game of Pong. I don't know I don't know where we're supposed to settle on this information that they're doling out.
Well, we're talking about Joe Kent, the guy who resigned because he said there was no immediate threat to the American people when this war was waged. Well, now he's under FBI investigation for allegedly leaking classified information. That's according to Fox News. So now there's an investigation into him.
Okay. I mean, if he leaked some sort of classified information, I don't know.
What about this secret
It's
trip?
very frustrating.
What about this trip? Markwayne Mullin said he went that he can't talk about.
I have no idea.
Yeah. I can't talk about it.
He didn't tell us anything.
It's just a secret trip. I know Gary Peters asked him, asked Mullin about his past claim that he had experienced the smell of war despite never serving in the military. That was one of the questions that happened, and so Peters asked him, where did you smell war, sir?
Yeah.
And then, he says, I just said that this was classified in the dates, locations, and the mission, so he couldn't say where he smelled it.
Well, whatever this trip was, this classified trip, he couldn't talk about.
No.
And it became a flashpoint of, okay, well, what is this?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm happy to tell you guys. I'm not trying to hide anything, but I can't say it in this format. So they were supposed to go yesterday and break it down.
Okay.
Again, the problem here is that, especially with Iran, like what he's doing at DHS is going to be hopefully better than what we had under Kristi Noem. Hopefully it's not going to be so incendiary. Hopefully it's going to be facts first, act then, and then deal with the ramifications of it on the other side. Hopefully there aren't any. What's going on in Iran and what we're hearing from some of these intel officials is that, like, I don't understand why we have such differing viewpoints from people in the same administration who have access to all the same information, who are then making these decisions. That's the thing that I don't understand. It's one thing to say, hey, we're going to get their nuclear capabilities. We're going to get their military installs. We're going to, hopefully change the ideology of this regime. It's another thing when we are getting drastically different accounts of what led to this from different people in the administration.
Right, exactly. To make the case that there was this imminent threat and they were close to a bomb, etc.
And again, this whole idea of I thought you obliterated all of this stuff.
Exactly.
Again, that's what the administration said. And now they're saying, well, they were close again. So what, were they at a different site? Again, they're not going to tell us all the details.
No.
But there are questions, certainly. All right, we'll take a break. 7 o'clock hour coming up. We'll get on the couch with Dr. Steve coming up.
No matter where you look, rising costs are hitting Michiganders hard. When you're forced to make tough choices, keeping the lights and heat on shouldn't be one of them. Consumers Energy is stepping up, giving back $5 million to assistance agencies and supporting efforts to increase energy assistance dollars for families in need by 50%. And with personalized energy saving programs, you can take steps to start reducing your energy bills today. Count on Consumers Energy for support. Learn more at consumersenergy.com/help.
Do you have an IRA or 401k? You want to think of this as being your money. But remember, you still have to pay taxes when you withdraw this money in retirement. And these taxes, well, they could be a lot higher than you know.
Ernie?
Learn how you could reduce or potentially eliminate these taxes with a free retirement tax savings analysis. It's from the Brzezinski Group, a second-generation financial advisory firm right here in Metro Detroit. If you've saved at least $250,000, schedule your free analysis now by calling 800-641-3361. This free analysis could save you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes in retirement. Call 800-641-3361. That's 800-641-3361. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC. Firm does not provide legal or tax advice.
Okay.
Meadowbrook Theater invites you to Come From Away, the hit Broadway musical that follows the true story during the 9/11 attacks.
Okay, bye.
38 planes and over 6,000 passengers forced to land in Gander, Newfoundland doubling the population of one small town on the edge of the world. For tickets, call 248-377-3300. That's 248-377-3300 or visit Ticketmaster.com. See Come From Away at Meadowbrook Theater.
This is the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR, Detroit, a Cumulus media station.
A lot of air raid sirens have been going off in Israel. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. As Iran keeps launching missiles, some are cluster types that break apart in the air and are harder to shoot down.
Since midnight, at least 7 barrages targeted this country. Some of the interceptors soaring through the skies of this country, shooting down the incoming fire. But there were a lot of different impact sites overnight and at least 4 people killed.
Fox's Trey Yingst also reports from Tel Aviv.
We don't know who is in charge of Iran right now. We've not yet seen any proof of life from Moshtaba Khamenei, the current supreme leader of Iran. Last night through state media, he reportedly released a statement calling for the avenging of the death of Ali Larijani, the top official who was killed just about 48 hours ago. But we are seeing a concerted effort by the Israelis and the Americans to take out what remains of the leadership structure there.
Iran has also attacked more Gulf neighbors, including a natural gas field in Qatar after Israel attacked the Iran side. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson in Dubai reads what President Trump posted on Truth Social.
No more attacks will be made by Israel pertaining to this extremely important and valuable South Pars field unless Iran unwisely decides to attack a very innocent, in this case, Qatar.
And if Iran attacks again, the president wrote the U.S. will blow up the entirety of that South Pars gas field with strength and power Iran's never witnessed before. Next hour, we'll get an update on Operation Epic Fury from the War Secretary as oil prices rise again this morning and the price at the gas pump here goes up another 4 cents. The Senate Homeland Security Committee could vote today to advance Republican Senator Mark Wayne Mullen's nomination to lead DHS the morning after his confirmation hearing.
While Mullen faced tough questions from Democrats, it was the Republican committee chairman who showed the most disdain for Mullen. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul says he'll vote against the president's pick. This after Mullen showed support for a man who had physically beat up Senator Paul back in 2017.
Fox's Mark Meredith. Despite Paul's objection, Mullen's nomination is expected to move to the full Senate as Homeland Security. The department remains unfunded. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Every now and then you find a deal that actually feels like a win. With Straight Talk Wireless, you get more and pay less. Now that's a good deal. No contracts, no credit checks, no surprises, all on Verizon's 5G network. Find it in the same place you've always found straightforward prices, exclusively at Walmart and straighttalk.com.
Eastbound 696 after Orchard Lake Road, a crash off to the right shoulder. Accident on the left shoulder, southbound 75 at Dixie Highway. We still have that crash in Troy on DeQuinder at 15 Mile. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Boeing at thumbcoasttheaters.com. Experience live professional theater at Thumbcoast Theaters in downtown St. Clair and Marine City, where the magic of Broadway comes alive right here at home. Don't miss Boeing, the hilarious comedy where one flight captain, 3 fiancés, and a flight schedule collide. Book your tickets today at thumbcoasttheaters.com. Cloudy with a slight chance of a rain shower today, high of 49. Right now it's 33. Clouds tonight and a low of 34. Cloudy, warmer tomorrow, high of 60. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Are you concerned about outliving your money? If so, tune in to Money Talks with Joseph Uplegger, Saturdays at 5 p.m. Joe will help make sure you get the retirement you deserve, Saturdays at 5 p.m., right here on WJR 760.
Hey, Jim Harper here. Quick story. I needed new glasses. And like many of you, I thought, well, I can go online. That's easy. But then I remember the last time I did that, it wasn't easy. They didn't look good on me and they weren't cheap.
So then what? You can't take it back to the store. It's the web. Then I remembered Direct Optical Optique. Many of you got your glasses there. You looked great and had a wonderful experience. And that's what I remembered, the experience. I remembered Mariana, Frame Stylist of the Year, and how great she and her staff were at helping me find the right frame at a good price. And that's all we want, right? And they have 2 great locations, Haggerty Road north of Maple in West Bloomfield, and in Canton on Ford Road next to the IKEA. Go see Mariana at Direct Optical Optique. She still knows everybody by name. 3 generations of loyal customers for a reason, because you get the attention you deserve. Direct Optical
Back at 30,
Optique
Jamie.
in West Bloomfield and in Canton, and at OptiqueDetroit.com.
Join Jack Razula every Saturday night at 10 p.m. for Anything is Possible. Hear Jack present uplifting stories of some of the world's most remarkable people and their extraordinary life journeys. Anything is Possible. Sponsored in part by Ideal Group. We are Ideal. Explore food security through stories, strategies, and solutions that empower communities and inspire action. Hear thought leaders from across the state on Food Secure Nation with Dr. Phil Knight and Jerry Brisson. Sunday nights at 9 on 760 WJR. Sponsored by Know Better, Do Better.
It's another JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR and streaming on WJR.com, where Michigan comes to talk.
Welcome in, 7 o'clock hour. It's tourney day.
Tourney time.
Love it. Here's the thing is I get so wrapped up in all this. Like when it's the Stanley Cup Finals, I'm like, nothing better than the Stanley Cup Finals. Nothing better than the Olympic gold medal hockey match. Like I get so excited. I honestly love the first round of the NCAA tournament. Absolutely love it.
I mean, this day is one of the greatest days in sports where you can watch all of this basketball. You can start following along in your bracket. I love it. Michigan State plays at 4:05 against North Dakota State, and then Michigan and Howard at 7:10. So we have a doubleheader of our local team.
Back to back.
Jamie, you there's a chance for a perfect bracket.
Oh, here we go.
No, Lloyd Christmas. He thinks that it's going to happen, and I think it's not.
It's going to happen at some point. What is it? 9.1 and 9.2 quintillion?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's a made up number. It doesn't exist. It's a lot. It's
right.
Basically,
it's not going. That's what they're saying.
You got a better shot of winning the Powerball 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
The most shocking things I've ever heard said in the history of saying things.
Yeah. So anyway, great day. Love it. Jamie's gonna. The TV's gonna be stuck on True TV or whatever.
Yeah, like all the networks.
All the networks.
All these bizarre CBS offshoots. But it's great. The previous button or the back button on your remote gets a lot of workout. Workout today. JD Vance was in town yesterday.
Yeah,
he had a lot to say. He talked about a lot. He talked about Temple Israel and what happened there, and one of the reasons why again DHS needs to be funded. But he also talked about the SAVE Act.
If you believe, as I do, that the American people are sovereign in their own country, then you have to believe that their vote should be protected. And the only way to fully protect their vote is to prevent fraudsters from coming and voting in American elections.
And that's Flashpoint. And people are up in arms about that. There was a little gaggle of a press conference yesterday outside Capitol Hill. They had a bunch of speakers talking about it. So that continues to be a main topic of conversation. He also talked about Joe Kent and his resignation as one of the top counterterrorism officials with this administration.
When the President of the United States makes a decision, it's your job to help make that decision as effective and successful as possible. And so the president said this yesterday, if you are on the team and you can't help implement the decisions of his administration, he has the right to make those decisions, then it's a good thing for you to resign.
So they're framing it as a good way. If you're not on board, if you're not on the same track, then then you should tender your resignation, which is what Joe Kent did.
On Easter Sunday, Oakland Hills Country Club will unveil its new clubhouse, rising from the ashes of the historic building destroyed by fire back in 2022. The $100 million, 110,000 square foot clubhouse, complete with a white 10-pillared veranda, replicates the iconic look of the original while offering some modern amenities. Members will be treated to a special Easter brunch, marking the clubhouse first official event. The rebuild came in on budget and ahead of schedule, funded through insurance and member contributions. The club plans to continue its legacy of hosting major golf championships, including the U.S. Open in 2034 and 2051, cementing its place as one of the country's premier private golf venues. So on Easter, we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus. Many do, and it'll be a different kind. It'll be a different kind on this Easter.
Wow.
Don't do that.
It said rising from the ashes. I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Send
Well,
all your
it is
emails.
beautiful.
Send your emails to Chris Renwick.
Chris.Renwick. My God.
It's getting hot in here.
Oh, my God. Stop it. What are you people?
I have to go home now, guys.
What are you people doing? What is happening? Well, good. I'm glad they've got it open. It looks beautiful,
it
by
does.
the way.
It really does.
It looks beautiful. And they hosted, was it the, Jamie, you'd remember, was it the amateur last year? I think it was
a women's event. I mean, this place has hosted U.S. Open,
Oh, yes.
Ryder Cups,
Yes.
all of the things. And to have that place reopened, it's just historic there. I couldn't believe when all of this happened over, a work crew there on the patio, but they're back. They're back on Easter Sunday.
Yeah. So that'll be good.
I saw the story on social media first. It's in the Detroit News now that Costco is taking steps to make fertility treatments cheaper for members. Now, I told you I love Costco before.
I know you're a Costco girl.
Oh my gosh, I love Costco. But this is quite a partnership between Costco, Sesame, and IVI RMA. And when you go through IVF and things like that, the fertility drugs are like the biggest expense you have out of pocket. And in this partnership, they say that the fertility drugs will be 80% less expensive. And you start at Sesame, then you move on, and your drugs are going to be cheaper, and it gets more people into the space, being able to build families. I think it's awesome.
That's great.
That is great.
That is great.
Look, Costco coming through again.
I'm telling you.
I mean, you got the $1.50 hot dogs.
I was just about to say.
You got
good hot
all the
dogs.
tasters you got.
Yeah.
And now I love it. I think it's great. I think you make that more. You make that more accessible to people. You get more kids, more families.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. 7:12, time for WJR's Business Beat, brought to you by Shelving.com. We rock your world. Here's Jeff Sloan, the founder and CEO of Startup Nation, to spotlight the entrepreneurial tech and startup community on WJR.
You need more storage now. Shelving.com offers same-day pickup or next business day shipping on many space-saving solutions. Grab versatile wire shelving or boltless shelving, or go vertical with high-strength Unirack pallet racking.
Shelving.com, we rack your world.
Time-honored quality has made Guernsey Farms Dairy a staple in Michigan fridges for over 80 years. And with their commitment to dependable goodness, they are sure to be a staple in yours. Guernsey Farms Dairy has built their tradition right here in Michigan, focusing on what their customers and local grocers want and need. When John McGuire started Guernsey Farms Dairy, he had a vision, and now it's continued with the family's third generation. John wanted to create a legacy for his family and the community, and the McGuire family is proud to continue that work today. Guernsey now delivers over 70,000 gallons of milk a week because of their great team and its partnership with family-owned Walnutdale Farms in Wayland, Michigan. Remember, when looking for Guernsey's award-winning milk, ice cream, and lemonade, make sure to visit your local grocer or stop by their store for an experience like no other.
Quality that's delicious, that's the Guernsey difference.
Good morning. Yesterday was a day to celebrate the small business development centers in America. Now, this is one of the country's most valued resources for entrepreneurs wanting to start a business. They provide services ranging from educational programs, which are free, and low-cost webinars and workshops that offer the opportunity to learn more about running and growing your business. From securing financing to writing a business plan and more, In fact, there's even an online library, which is full of live and on-demand webinars for you to access anytime you need support on any given objective to start or grow your business. There's business plan development services in which they help map out how to develop and launch your new business all the way through the early growth phase. You can download a template for guidelines on how to build a meaningful plan. There's even consultants available to you to help you create your own unique plan with their help and assistance. Another resource is their market research. You can get the information you need to make decisions that drive growth for your business, help in business planning and formation. Now, yesterday was a day to honor America's small business development centers across the country. Here in Michigan, you can find out more about their specific service offerings and find a location near you where you can get the help you need to get started right. You can go to michigansbc.org to learn more and to find locations of centers nearest you. I'm Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of StartupNation.com, the source for everything you need to start and grow your own business. And that's today's Business Beat on the great voice of the Great Lakes, WJR.
You need more storage now. Shelving.com offers same-day pickup or next business day shipping on many space-saving solutions. Grab versatile wire shelving or boltless shelving, or go vertical with high-strength Unirack pallet racking.
Shelving.com, we rack your world.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
African Americans are the most likely to die from colorectal cancer. So please get screened starting at age 45. Now, Medicare and insurance companies are required to cover not only colonoscopy, but also less invasive exams like virtual colonoscopy. Talk to your doctor about your options. For more information on virtual colonoscopy, visit radiologyinfo.org/virtual CT.
Furnished by the American College of Radiology and the Radiology Health Equity Coalition.
Hockey fans love the fast-paced action, but not the big league price? Check out Team USA Hockey. Get more excitement and more hockey for less. This Saturday, score big with 2 tickets for just $30 when Team USA hosts Dubuque. Score 2 for 30 tickets at USAHockeyNTDP.com.
March is your lucky month at the Nerve and Disc Institute in Farmington, Clinton Township, Grand Blanc, and Bad Axe. Hi, it's Paul W. Smith. Thousands of people, like my wife Kim and I, feel extremely lucky that our chronic back, neck, and knee pain are gone, thanks to our lucky charm, Dr. Saul Kogan. His non-surgical, non-invasive intradisc neutrosis and knee restore RX treatments stimulate the body's self-repair healing process. If you have spinal stenosis, herniated, bulging, or degenerative discs, sciatica pain or numbness, tingling or burning in your hands, arms, or legs, you're in luck. When you mention WJR in March, you'll get a consultation, examination, x-ray, or MRI review, and a laser treatment for just $49 for your first visit at the Nerve and Disc Institute. Your luck is about to change for the better. Call 586-416-DISC. That's 586-416-3472. Call now.
People can't have access to quality medical care without affordable health insurance. At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, we understand increasing health insurance costs are becoming more of a strain on the budgets of the businesses and people we serve. Affordability matters. It affects real families, real decisions, and real care. That's why at Blue Cross, we're dedicated to finding solutions. To learn about this critical issue and our efforts to make healthcare affordable for all, visit mibluedaily.com/affordability today.
Make your splash at the Backyard Pool and Spa Show, March 20th through the 22nd at the 5 Credit Union Showplace, formerly known as the Suburban Collection Showplace. Shop the best selection and biggest savings on the newest hot tubs, swim spas, pools, and accessories.
WJR Traffic and Weather first.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. The sun is shining and spring is calling at Lowe's. Start the season strong with amazing deals. Buy 3 bags, get 3 free of Stay Green 1 cubic foot garden soil. Valid through March 25th while supplies last. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Few problems slowing you down on the roadways this morning. Eastbound 696 after Orchard Lake Road, crash off to the right shoulder. Still have an accident on the left shoulder of southbound 75 at Dixie Highway. And in Troy on DeQuinder at 15 Mile, a crash. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Lombardo Apartments. Looking for luxury living without the stairs? Welcome to Everly of Macomb. Beautiful ranch-style luxury apartments designed for comfort, convenience, and style. Visit everlyofmacomb.com for more information on their specials, including 1 month free rent on a new lease. Here's your forecast.
Modifying numbers the next several days. Normal value 46. Going to get pretty close today or above that with mainly cloudy sky. A few showers around this morning. No significant rain. Let's go 48.
Back in 30.
Tonight, 35, mainly cloudy. Suburbs 20s. Milder tomorrow with a few showers, 57. The weekend will kick off partly sunny and near 60 on Saturday. Early showers Sunday. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
More than just a radio show, it's an entertaining daily look at the heart of the community. The Mitch Albom Show, making a difference in your life. 4 till 6 p.m. on 760 WJR.
All right, Jamie, you ready to get on the couch?
Always ready. Always ready. And for folks who are dealing with an older family member, trying to care for them, this one is for you. We have Dr. Steve, president of Craig Counseling Group or Consulting Group and Counseling Services. Sorry, Dr. Steve, on your title there.
Oh, my jeez. I'm out.
He's livid.
I'm out. All right, we have a special privilege today. This one is actually from me. I tried to write it to be like it came from, it just didn't work. So it's actually from me.
It's
so
you. This is
me. I tried to write it like,
I feel very uncomfortable giving you some sort of advice.
Right. Well, it's a difficult thing. And I figured it would be better to just, if I absolved myself of responsibility, I handed it to you guys.
Okay,
great.
let us.
Great.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try, I tried to write it like it came from someone, but it's a common thing I've dealt with in my office lots of times, but now it's on my lap. My 89-year-old mother fell 2 weeks ago and broke 2 ribs. Since then, she's been in the hospital and then a rehab facility where she is supposed to be getting physical therapy. But she mostly resists any of that and is just sitting in her room by herself, staring at the walls each day. So I go there every day and she's just staring. She's coherent. It's not like she's lost her mind or anything. But the problem is she's basically non-compliant with physical therapy and the safety program she needs to follow for my 2 brothers and I to feel safe about getting her released back to her independent living facility. So she doesn't follow any of the safety instructions. Mm-hmm. So she's a fall risk and she's defiant with, doing any of the things she's supposed to do. And she's already fallen twice in her room at the rehab place because she says, I'll be fine. And she is fine 2 times. And then the 3rd time she falls and they have to come get her. So, so here's the dilemma. If we keep her at the facility she's at, she's just rotting. She has no social interactions whatsoever. She's just sitting there, and she's not following any of the PT stuff because her rib hurts. She's just sitting there. Mm-hmm. But if we take her back to her independent facility, she will be surrounded by her friends in some activities, but there's no doubt she will fall again. Not at all. She doesn't use the walker. She won't do anything. She tells you she will, and then 10 minutes later she doesn't.
Yeah.
So, and that fall could be fatal. So we can't really afford, no one's going to pay for it to have someone around her 24/7. So getting her back home is a recipe for her to fall again. But keeping her in rehab, you're just watching her slowly sit there.
Yeah.
So I have one brother who says, send her back to her old place. And I have another brother who's adamant to say, absolutely, you keep her in rehab because sending her back is a death sentence because she'll fall right away. Mm-hmm. So Mom says, whatever you think is best, honey. And I'm her power of attorney. Go ahead, Lloyd. I got to write this down. Lloyd says,
I got to run to the restroom.
Oh, man. Everybody's just.
Lloyd's answer, because in the lawsuit, I want to make sure I got. How do I spell Lloyd? Is it 2 L's?
Two
Right.
L's. 2 L's. 2 L's. Wow. I mean, it is that's a difficult situation because it's. I don't think I would send her back to her independent living, and I understand about her not following PT and and staring. I just don't think, because I feel that there still may be a chance, for her to cooperate. But when you're 89 years old, I know how my mom was, man. When you're 89, you make up your mind you're not going to do something, you just don't do it, and it's not going to happen. But if you send her back to the independent living, like you said, you know she's going to fall, and the fall could be fatal. And I just wouldn't,
And the way she lives, she's super creative.
Yes.
She's a creative artist.
Uh-huh.
Her place, no matter how much you clean, it still looks like a laundromat blew up. I mean, there's clothes on the floor. It's like a college dorm room.
Okay.
So she's a fall risk everywhere,
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So I guess, Mike, is she in too much pain to be doing these things?
No.
Or is she's just opposite? She just doesn't.
That's her. Right.
She just
Right.
doesn't want
Don't
to do
tell
it.
me what to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But then she says, whatever you think is best,
That's
honey.
correct, right.
Yeah, okay. I see. Yeah, that feels like frustrating.
Yeah.
I guess I look, I would not send her back to be by herself. That feels bad. But also, would that be somewhat of an impetus on getting her moving again? If she's got friends, if she's got activities, and maybe the I guess assistance would be, look, when do you go down and play bridge? When do you go down and have lunch? We'll have somebody come and walk you down there with you. Like that, I could see would be the alternate, but letting her sit there would be tough too. I think it almost feels like if you send her back, she will have an opportunity to move a little bit, which sounds like she needs. She
Because
needs to
her
get up
friends
and
will
move
be
a little
around
bit.
and stuff
right.
like that.
But I
yeah.
think it needs to be controlled.
Well, and that's the thing. We can get services where someone assists her going down to eat and over to play
activities and
bingo or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even getting out of bed. But between getting out of bed and 2 hours before lunch, she's going to get up. 'Cause
Right.
She says stuff like, I just wanted to get my purse, and she's on the floor.
Right.
So it has to be 24/7. You can have someone check on her regularly. So we've already arranged we can pay to have someone check every hour or whatever you want. But
Sure.
she's,
you still got a chance in
unless
between
someone's
those
holding her
times.
hand 24/7,
Sure.
she's falling.
Right.
But Jamie will solve it for us. Let's
Yeah,
figure
good.
it out. Okay, we're out.
Now, Jamie's the
All right.
tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Dr. Steve, can you pin it on the medical professionals in some way? Like the medical professionals at rehab will not release you back to your friends until you do this. Like,
Tried that.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, you are not getting out of jail until they release you. And so that's what her job was. I said, your job is to follow the rules and they'll let you out. And she said, absolutely. I said, don't go anywhere don't get up. Don't do anything by yourself. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I have to run to the business office. I came back. She was standing in the room. And I go, what do you do? They're not going to let you out. These people are awful. They're terrible. And she's, well, I don't want to burden anyone. Go ahead, Jamie.
Okay. Well, I was just thinking, like, when it comes to like driving with family members, we were thinking, like, could the state say you can't drive anymore? But there's not that within the system of driving. So it's very difficult with like navigating older folks as they are losing some of their privileges and their will, So I don't know what the answer is. I wouldn't want her to go fall in her independent facility, though.
Yeah.
Hey. I really think the answer is I should make my wife decide. Would that be perfect?
Yes.
Yes. Whatever
Yeah.
you say, honey. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That doesn't work. So I don't think there's any good answer here. But, I've had this in my office enough times. Irony is this stuff comes back to you all the time anyway. But in the end, when I've had these discussions so many times, one of the difficulties we have is that intertwined here is also our own I'll call it selfishness,
Sure.
if you will.
Yeah.
But it's there's reasons for me too to keep her in the current place that are all about me, which we have to get rid of.
Right.
It's less work for me
Right.
if she's there. Someone's watching her. So, but that benefits me. There's less fear of failure. You know what I mean? Like if she falls,
Right.
right. If I send her back, I make the call.
Mhm.
I made the call. I sent mom off to her death. She's around longer. I want my mom. So even if she slowly rots, she's around longer. But that's all about me, and it's just emotionally safer. You know what I mean? I sleep better knowing she's at this place.
Yeah.
But how do we unwind that stuff because it shouldn't be about what's better and for my needs. It has to be what's better for her. And in the end, I think what we're going to do is send her back, because if I'd have asked her 10 years ago, if you were in this scenario, what would you want? She would say, I would rather be with my friends and be social than sitting here rotting. You know?
Yeah.
Even if it led to what it's led to, because she would, you know, we all, what do you guys want to do at the time of death? We all say, I want to be active. She would have said, send me back.
We're going to have to delete this from the evidence file so it can't be used in court. Thank you, Dr. Steve. Appreciate you. Coming up, more next.
When it comes to keeping your job site safe and your gear ready to work, Skyworks Equipment Rental has you covered. Right now, get an annual equipment inspection for just $99 plus any applicable taxes. Upon inspection, any needed parts or labor will be quoted before it begins. No surprises, just reliability. Mention WJR's Inside Outside guys to lock in this special offer. Visit skyworks-reliablerentals.com. That's skyworks-reliablerentals.com and keep your equipment working as hard as you do this spring.
760 WJR. Custom built for Detroit.
The Detroit Free Press Marathon is back in the running for USA Today's Best Marathon. Help defend our title. Let's show them what this city can do. Vote once a day, every day until March 23rd at 10best.usatoday.com. Cast your vote, Detroit. Let's stay number one.
The Spartans play here. 760 WJR.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. Natural gas and oil prices are up. Gasoline prices in the U.S. are up 4 cents a gallon today after strikes in the Persian Gulf.
The world's largest liquefied natural gas field has come under attack from both Israel and Iran. Ras Laffan is shared by the Iranians in Qatar. On social media, President Trump said the U.S. didn't know that Israel would attack Ras Laffan and condemned Iran's retaliation.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Democrats walk out of a briefing with Attorney General Pam Bondi about the handling of Jeffrey Epstein files.
House Oversight Committee ranking member Congressman Robert Garcia alleging the briefing was staged.
In a way that's been irresponsible and, quite frankly, we believe a way for the Attorney General to get out of her answering questions under oath and to the public, which we will not accept.
Stressing he looks forward to asking questions when Bondi is under oath.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by Guardian Alarm. Metro Detroit business owners, take your security system to the next level with Guardian Alarm. From video surveillance to fire protection and more, Guardian Alarm will install the ideal security system for your business and budget. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT for your free security consultation.
We have an accident on the westbound 94 on-ramp from Ross, eastbound M14 at 275. Crash off to both shoulders. To Quinder at 15 Mile and Troy. Still have that accident there. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Mary Grove Awnings. You built the deck. You bought the grill. Now stop letting the sun push you around. Mary Grove Awnings, motorized, built tough. Click the remote, instant shade, and they can install in as little as 48 hours. Go to marygrove.com and book your free in-home appointment. Mary Grove, own your backyard. Cloudy with a slight chance of rain showers today and a high of 49. Right now it's 33. Clouds tonight, low at 34. Cloudy and warmer tomorrow, high of 60. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR, traffic and weather first.
Too many women can relate to Lisa's story. Maybe you can too. She said the pain in her abdomen was horrible, not normal. Her doctor said it was just bad periods. Searching for answers, Lisa turned to Michigan Medicine. There she met specialists who looked deeper and discovered not only stage 4 endometriosis, but also a rare appendix cancer. Then treated both diseases in a single life-saving surgery. Lisa found her answer at Michigan Medicine. Find yours at michiganAnswers.org/start.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number, 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Here's a tale of Tina searching up and down for decent GLP-1s, but got spun around.
Till Good RX wrote in, hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags that are red.
Clear pricing from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door or pick up same day. Darn tootin'.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Hot put it to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Lanier in transition, hits the break.
Back in 30.
Sign of life from Knoxville.
Plant driving right. Loft for Brazil and a two-hand slam.
6 on the clock. Down to 5. He drives on Maddox. Right elbow and 3. Spins to the foul line. Jumper up and it rattles in at the buzzer.
Don't miss any of this year's action on the road to the Final Four with Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the men's NCAA tournaments.
Sponsored by Tryon. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
Did he stay or no? Did Dr. Steve stay?
Stick around for All Talk at 9 with Kevin Dietz.
Okay, I thought that was because he didn't finish his thought.
W. Smith at noon on 760 WJR and on the WJR app. Now it's JR Morning. Here's Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and
Just
Jamie
start
Evans.
talking. I'll find something.
So you know how I told you that there was some work done, I think it was NBC, that went and talked to Trump voters. Trump voters in Pennsylvania are mostly okay with what's going on with gas prices. Some supporters are willing to pay more at the pump during this war with Iran. They view it as a necessary decision. So a vast majority of them are on board with this. This NBC report, again, this one in Pennsylvania. So you've got gas prices up at $3.80 is the national average. I paid $3.99 yesterday. And you've got people saying, look, I'm willing to pay a little more because this is the cost of protecting us. They view it as the United States protecting our interests by going on this military offensive with Iran. Right? Donald Trump has talked about peace through strength.
Okay.
This could be considered under that umbrella, peace through strength, where you are taking a military offensive to help secure the United States, not only the homeland, but our interests abroad.
So when he ran on No More Forever Wars, evidently these people think
this is not a forever war.
This is not a forever war, and this is worth
for what it's worth, I don't think it's a forever war. This doesn't feel like that.
Well,
but
I mean,
with that being said, it can spiral. Things can change.
Well, my thing is the administration in Iran. I mean, if you keep the same type of people around, if you don't get a new regime in there that you can work with, that's not as wild and crazy as the current regime. I mean, this will continue. You might stop. You may say, okay, we're done, and we go away for a while. But you've still got crazy people running it. We'll probably have to come back because they'll start doing the same stuff again.
There was a piece in the Wall Street Journal, an editorial piece about perhaps the Trump administration thought that there would be like a Delcy Rodriguez in Iran who,
Yes.
you know, if the head was taken off, they would be more willing to work with the United States. They haven't seen that yet. So they have to continue this campaign until they get to a place where that makes it all worth it. And they talked about Marines going in and trying to, get the Strait of Hormuz open. And so now that means actual military members there on the ground.
Yeah, and the DNI came out with a report that says the Iranian regime is intact but degraded, meaning not only from a leadership chart, right? They've taken out a lot of those top leaders in the regime, but also from a military strategic perspective. Yes, they've taken out a lot of the military arsenal in Iran, but that doesn't mean that they aren't finding ways to be impactful here.
They are.
And obviously with their attacks on oil facilities around the region, embassies around the region, They are finding different ways.
Dubai Airport, they hit that, and they're continuing to try to
banking institutions in Dubai. Yeah, they have found a way to be impactful without just going toe to toe with the U.S. military. You can't do that.
No.
Iran cannot do that,
and they know that.
They do know that, and they really can't now. But again, it goes to this idea of there are Donald Trump's base. It's why I don't necessarily buy the fact that the Republicans are out of this thing yet, because there is still Donald Trump's base is still there. I actually think a lot of the young voters are still there for Donald Trump who voted for him in this past election. But it's about energy. It's about wanting to go vote. It's about wanting to participate in an off year where the president's not on the ballot.
Right.
Right. And so is there that drive? I guess we'll see. We don't know for sure yet. The sense that I get is that Republicans still have some work to do to rile up their base. But I do think that they're there. That doesn't mean that there are people that are still upset that voted for Donald Trump that are going, whoa, hold on. This is not what I signed up for.
And the longer it goes, too, this war. I mean, we're March, April will be here before you know it. How long is this going to go before you know it? I mean, it'll be September, October. You just don't want it to go. Now, some people, like you said, the people in Philadelphia in that poll, okay, we're okay with it. That's now. What happens in June if this is still going on? Or July if this is still going, and people are continuing to pay this high price for gas, which then goes to food prices, which then goes to airline prices, which, it could just spiral.
Well, and the thing that makes me the most frustrated with this administration is national debt is up past $39 trillion. And they talked about being fiscally responsible. They talked about cutting back on the expenditures, cutting back on how much money that the federal government is doling out on a yearly basis. They haven't done that. That's what's important to me. The national debt story should be one of the biggest stories that we have to contend with, and nobody talks about it because that's not there are so many other things going on that the debt just keeps racking up, and it is unsustainable. It is not going to be good for. I mean, in another 250 years from now, right? We celebrate 250 this year.
That's right.
What is it going to look like in another 250 years? If we keep on this track that we're going now, it's going to be a very different country. So that has to be a main focus. And this, for an administration that said they were going to tackle that, they haven't yet. And that to me is where I get a lot of the frustration out on this administration. But people are still on board. There was a new Quinnipiac poll too that showed that, and again, polls, right? Polls. Those who identify as MAGA voters are with him 100%, according to this Quinnipiac poll. So if you are a self-identified MAGA Donald Trump voter, you are with him 100%, according to this poll.
Okay.
That feels like a stretch. Feels like a lot.
One of those other polls we saw that Republicans and obviously MAGA's involved there were 77% on board. It wasn't 100. So, I mean, it just depends who you talk to and what day.
Right.
Yeah, certainly. Meanwhile, today is day one of the NCAA tourney, opening round, and we've got games across the board. It's going to be such a fun day. And then we've got a back-to-back. So we've got Michigan State tipping off at 4:05. And our pregame here on WJR starts at 3 o'clock. So be able to hear that right here on WJR. Michigan tips at 7:10 against the Bison of Howard. So you've got back-to-back games here today for Michigan and Michigan State. I don't know. It's one of my favorite days of the year on the sports calendar. It's just so fun.
I love it. I have to get my bracket done. I haven't done it yet. So I have until 11:45 this morning to do it. And, it's just fun to follow along. I think this is one of the greatest times of the year in sports.
I saw this also yesterday, this thing shooting through the sky, plummeting to the ground in Ohio.
Did you see the dash cam from a state trooper or whatever?
Yes.
It was a meteor, a 7-ton meteor that sped across the sky around Cleveland at 45,000 miles per hour. And it scared people. And people in several states saw it. It was this fireball at 9 in the morning. The American Meteor Society said it received reports from Wisconsin to Maryland. NASA confirmed it was a meteor, and it just looked like a fireball. The good news, it came into our atmosphere and broke up.
Okay,
Good
I was
job.
going to say, where did it hit?
Good job,
It broke up.
atmosphere.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for that atmosphere. But that was scary for people to see.
So did we get any debris on the ground? I didn't see that.
I did not see anything like that. I think it broke up in the sky. It traveled more than 34 miles through the upper atmosphere before fragmenting over Valley City, north of Medina, NASA said.
I was watching this documentary once on these like meteor chasers.
Uh-huh.
There are people all around the world that are constantly on the hunt for meteors.
I believe that. Oh, yeah.
Like all around the world, they
Sure.
are everywhere.
Yeah, like tornado chasers.
Yeah, but like the thing here is that like they are some of these meteors have like different minerals in them and they're built differently, and some of them are worth like a lot of money. Like people will pay for them to, you know, the government or whatever to study them and things like that. So they're worth a lot of money, which is crazy.
That gives you incentive.
But thankfully nobody was hurt, because I did see, I'm like, oh my God, the thing is just plummeting towards the earth. It was crazy. All right, we'll take a break. Coming up next, we're going to talk with the Citizens Research Council of Michigan, policy options that could help slow the decline of the human costs of gambling. We'll talk about it on the other side. JR Morning.
This winter might not have been the worst one on record, but it's up there. Aside from being hard on people, it's even tougher on our homes. Hi, it's Paul W. for my friends here at Victor's Home Solutions. If the freeze-thaw cycles this winter created even the slightest crack in the shingles or sealant on your roof, you're going to have water in your home this spring when the rains hit. That's why you need to call Victor's today and schedule a free 21-point roof inspection before the rainy season. They'll go over every inch of your roof and review their findings with you. And if they do find a problem, it can usually be fixed with an inexpensive repair. But if it is time for a new roof, you could not hire a better company than Victor's. Over-the-top customer service, highly skilled crews that install a perfect roof every time. And best of all, they offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. So give them a call for your free roof inspection today. 866-VICTORS. That's 866-VICTORS. Or online at victors.com. Victors.com.
People call Michigan Auto Law when they need help, not just because we win more million-dollar settlements than any firm in Michigan, which we do. They call because we care. We have your back. From the first call to your final settlement, we treat you like a person, not a case number. Ask our client, Sean Herrera.
Their expertise as car accident attorneys and dedication as personal injury lawyers truly stood out. They took the time to explain every detail, ensuring I felt supported and informed throughout my case.
Go to autolaw.com.
Hockey fans love the fast-paced action, but not the big league price? Check out Team USA Hockey. Get more excitement and more hockey for less. This Saturday, score big with 2 tickets for just $30 when Team USA hosts Dubuque. Score 2 for 30 tickets at USAHockeyNTDP.com.
Buddy's Pizza, the official pizza of NCAA tournament coverage on WJR. Buddy's iconic squares and crispy, crunchy corners have made memories in the Motor City since 1946. Celebrate 80 years of the original Detroit-style pizza at your local Buddy's today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. African Americans are the most likely to die from colorectal cancer. So please get screened starting at age 45. Now, Medicare and insurance companies are required to cover not only colonoscopy, but also less invasive exams like virtual colonoscopy. Talk to your doctor about your options. For more information on virtual colonoscopy, visit radiologyinfo.org/virtual CT.
Furnished by the American College of Radiology and the Radiology Health Equity Coalition.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green. Don't waste another weekend doing your lawn care yourself. Partner with the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour and get a golf course quality lawn the easy way. Sign up at truegreen.com. Then sit back and relax.
On the westbound 94 on-ramp from Ross, we still have a crash there this morning. Accident off to both shoulders of eastbound M14 at 275 and DeQuinder, a 15-mile crash there. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Little damp weather around this morning, hopefully not slowing you down too much. Some widely scattered showers, otherwise cloudy this afternoon and getting a little bit milder now, 48. Tonight, 35, mainly cloudy. Suburbs will be a little chillier and a few showers around tomorrow, 57. And then partly sunny on
30.
Saturday, close to 60 degrees. Chance of showers on Sunday through about early afternoon and a high of 55. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
So last month, when Governor Gretchen Whitmer presented her fiscal year budget for this year, there was a number of revenue increases aimed at helping Medicaid. There's a lot of federal changes, obviously, going on at that level. But one of those proposed revenue increases includes updating the state's internet gaming, sports betting, and online gaming tax infrastructure. The goal there to raise another $190 million. But the Citizens Research Council of Michigan is pointing to the idea that there are problem gambling behaviors that have increased due to the accessibility of sports betting here in the state of Michigan. There's financial issues that come with that, health issues that come from that, and safety concerns that come from that. So from a policy decision perspective, what can be done to help alleviate some of these issues that folks at the Citizens Research Council of Michigan have identified? Carly Abramson is the research associate focused on health policy at the Citizens Research Council of Michigan and joins us this morning. Carly, good morning.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So let's talk about what you guys have seen that leads you to the path of, well, what can we do policy to help people here?
Definitely. And so it's the accessibility issue that you mentioned, just how accessible online sports betting is. It's different than really any other vice or entertainment product that we have access to. It's really, you pick up your phone and you can place bets on virtually anything. The number of bets you can place is unlimited. And so there are different policy measures that can be done just to try to put a few more roadblocks in place for the people who are the most vulnerable. Because we do know that since, the legalization of online sports betting in Michigan, that these problematic gambling behaviors have increased by about 30%. And so there's just, different kind of small measures to try to get at, some of those issues that make it so accessible. So for example, the prevalence of prop bets, which for those who don't know, when you can place a bet not just on the outcome of any particular game, but about individual events that happen within players. And so kind of the number of bets that you can make is limitless. And that fuels that kind of dopamine feedback loop that we know is very prevalent in gambling behavior. So other states have shown kind of trying to restrict the number of prop bets you can place. There's measures to potentially curb the number of bets that you can place with borrowed money. So banning the use of credit cards, placing some restrictions on AI recommendations that, target people to continue to make more and more bets by saying, oh, the odds for this happening are this, maybe you should place a bet here. And so just trying to get at those little areas that make it so accessible and so easy to keep going and going and going, to just try to add some of those roadblocks for the people who would really need it.
Carly, on the policy side, what are the most realistic steps that Michigan could take right now, to reduce the harm without actually banning sports betting altogether?
Exactly. And, most people who engage in sports betting do so very responsibly. And so we're talking about that subset of people who are going to engage in this behavior that then leads to those ripple effects on the community, on their families. There's an increase in, athlete harassment. And so we're really not talking about banning this completely. We're talking about placing up those little roadblocks by, potentially restricting prop bets, restricting the use of credit cards. There's also potentially the state could, shore up funds for gambling addiction. The state already has some funds and resources, but if we include gambling addiction under the general framework of other addictive and, addiction issues, there could be ways to get some of those benefits and resources that we have available for other types of addiction to apply to gambling addiction as well. We could potentially have, state-funded health insurance be required to cover gambling addiction the same way that they do with other types of addiction. And so both from trying to limit the access and also providing more resources for this problem that we know is likely to increase as the industry grows are places that the state could really step in to help.
Carly, I understand the idea of trying to protect people from themselves, but what about the argument that this is something that is legal in our state and people should have the right to make their own decisions?
Yeah, and that is absolutely relevant, and it's something, like I said, that most people are engaging in this responsibly. But just like anything else that we have access to, all of our free choice is usually limited by how much it negatively impacts the rest of the world and the community. And this is an area where we're seeing that when we make a certain choice, it is not just the increase in that addictive behavior that just influences the person. The ripple effects to the rest of the community is where the government then has the responsibility to step in, because this behavior can lead to intimate partner violence, increase in larceny and vehicle thefts. And then, it touches on the issue of sports integrity as well. So because it's, individual behavior that is legal that we have the right to do, but when it becomes problematic, then it can have those ripple effects. And it also, because it is so accessible, it's one of those things that potentially could become very predatory for the people who are the most vulnerable. So there are places that we're talking about the government stepping in to just add a few layers of protection, not get rid of something that many people enjoy and use responsibly.
Carly Abramson, appreciate your time and the insight and all the work that the Citizens Research Council of Michigan does and did on this. So thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it. I'm glad you asked that, Jamie, because that's where I was going next. I mean, I am somebody who firmly believes in the idea of you do what you got to do. Whatever you want to do, you live your life however you want to live it. It's not my business.
Free choice.
It's not my business. But at the same time, the ripple effects are there. If you have some sort of issue or there's something that comes down the pipe, and you seek help, well, who's paying for that, right?
Yeah.
If I have to end up paying for that as a taxpayer, well, that's a different story. But I'm generally let people live their lives how they want, and the ramifications are generally on them.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a family and you're a wife and children, and you're a gambler and you losing your money and you can't pay the house note and can't pay it, and you get put out your house and the kids are out on the street, with your wife, that's not a good thing. And I think one thing, I mean, the state could could tie that gambling revenue that they get from gambling, because Michigan makes a lot of money from online betting, and have some of that money go towards addiction, gambling addiction.
Yeah, certainly. All right, we're going to take a break. Coming up on the other side, 8 o'clock hour coming up. Lots to talk about, including the Markwayne Mullin hearings. That was yesterday. We'll tell you what he had to say. Also, some fireworks coming up.
Detroit is more than a destination and far more than meets the eye. From downtown to the Tri-County area, Detroit attracts 40% of Michigan visitors and generates more than $5 billion in economic activity. That's what makes Detroit the beating heart of pure Michigan. Visit Detroit is proud to play our part by promoting the Motor City to visitors from all over the world. When we champion our workers, businesses, and communities, we can help write the next chapter in Michigan's bright future. Now's the time to discover all the treasures in Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne County. Go to visitdetroit.com to plan your experience today.
Welcome to Making the Impossible Possible with Henry Ford Health. And with us today is cardiologist Dr. Corey Russell. From the routine to leading edge breakthroughs at Henry Ford, healthcare is more than high tech. It's human. And Dr. Russell, how does this impact your work?
That's so true. As a physician, what we do is intrinsically personal. It's incredibly important to me to maintain that human connection with my patients. My goal is to help my patients feel better and continue living longer, happier lives with their loved ones. That truly makes me happy.
Well, that's wonderful. And Henry Ford is a nonprofit. How does this impact the care you give as a physician?
Because Henry Ford Health is a nonprofit, our donors and their gifts power the advancements that help us improve and save more lives every day. Philanthropy is the difference maker that enables the next level of exceptional patient-centered care, leading-edge research, clinical training excellence, and broad community impact.
Great. Cardiovascular care is part of your Detroit expansion plans. Can you share more?
Cardiovascular care will be one of the specialties in the new hospital facility currently being built at our Detroit campus. Thanks to donor support, we can continue to engage in the most advanced research while investing in the best equipment and technology available, all to improve our patients' lives.
To learn more or make a gift, visit henryford.com/above and beyond.
This is the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR, Detroit, a Cumulus media station.
We're about to get an update on Operation Epic Fury. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It's day 20, and War Secretary Pete Hegseth will brief us in a minute. After a late-night President Trump post on Truth Social warning the U.S. could blow up an entire natural gas field after Iran hit the Qatar side following an Israeli strike on Iran's part. And Fox's Lucas Tomlinson reports from Dubai.
Iran has also struck oil and gas fields here in the UAE, as well as Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. Iran fired ballistic missiles at Riyadh, while diplomats from neighboring Gulf countries, as well as ministers from Turkey, Lebanon, Jordan, Azerbaijan, were meeting. The top diplomat here in the Emirates issuing a blistering statement, quote, "This terrorist attack, which targeted the country's infrastructure and oil facilities, represents a direct threat to the security and stability of the region and its people, as well as the global energy security."
And oil prices are rising again. Brent crude is
we have good fighters. We're winning.
$114 a barrel, while gas prices go up here again, another 4 cents this morning. Iran's also been hitting Israel again.
There were a number of cluster munitions fired toward this country. 7 separate barrages since midnight have triggered air raid sirens across Israel. In the West Bank, 3 Palestinian women were killed. They were in a salon at the time when part of an Iranian ballistic missile slammed into this area. Another person was killed in central Israel. We know a foreign worker.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. An American is missing in Spain. A University of Alabama student who went there on spring break, and there are reports.
Police are suspecting foul play in James Gracie's disappearance Tuesday in Spain. The 20-year-old's father is now in the country working with the authorities. A family spokesperson also confirming that police do have James's cell phone, which the family says was found when police happened to arrest the guy who actually stole it.
Fox's Chanley Painter. It is hot in California and Arizona. It'll top 100 again today in Phoenix. Yesterday's 102 was the earliest triple-digit temperature ever. The prior record was March 26, 1988. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
Westbound 94, after Little Mac, we have a crash off to the right shoulder. Eastbound M14 at 275, an accident's blocking the right lane. Also still have that crash in Troy at DeQuinder and 15 Mile. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Looking at a nice day today. Cloudy, slight chance of rain showers, warmer, high of 49. Right now it's 32. Clouds tonight with a low of 34. Cloudy and warmer tomorrow with a high of 60. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
It's Ryan Armani with Eric from Paramount Roofing. When you hear 5-star experience, what does that mean to you?
To me, it means communicating exactly what we are doing to your home, having respect for your home, delivering the best quality material, crew, and the one we take pride in, satisfaction guaranteed. At Paramount Roofing, we bring the 5-star experience to every roofing project with no deposit required.
Get a 5-star roofing experience with Paramount and get 5 years, 0% interest financing at weareroofing.com. That's weareroofing.com.
My name is Jenny Brown. I am the CEO of Dutton Farm. We are a nonprofit in the behavioral health system. It is so critical to partner with Tryon so that we are not making any HR missteps and able to fully comply with all regulations while also being able to provide benefits and workman's comp and really support our employees in the way that they need. And that's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return, but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do? My refund, though. I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hockey fans love the fast-paced action, but not the big league price? Check out Team USA Hockey. Get more excitement and more hockey for less. This Saturday, score big with 2 tickets for just $30 when Team USA hosts Dubuque. Score 2 for 30 tickets at USAHockeyNTDP.com. For physical health, mental health, and everything in between, Blue Cross is ready to help. Learn more at bcbsm.com.
Make your splash at the Backyard Pool and Spa Show, March 20th through 22nd at the Vide Credit Union Showplace, formerly known as Suburban Collection Showplace. Shop the best selection and biggest savings on the newest hot tubs, swim spas, pools, and accessories.
It's not just morning, it's a JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR and on the WJR app, where Michigan comes to talk.
All right, 8 o'clock hour. Want to get you to the Pentagon, where Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, giving an update on Operation Epic Fury. Let's listen in.
Officer back home and a family man. I remember him every day, just like so many other men and women of our generation and previous generations who wear bracelets like this. Just as we will always remember those lost in this conflict. Their names are now etched into our mission and into the soul of a grateful nation. I stand here today speaking to you, the American people, not through filters, not through reporters, not through cable news spin. A dishonest and anti-Trump press will stop at nothing. We know this at this point. To downplay progress, amplify every cost, and call into question every step. Sadly, TDS is in their DNA. They want President Trump to fail. But you, the American people, know better. Yes, there are reporters in front of me, but they are not our audience today. It's you, the good, decent, patriotic American people. You, the hardworking, tax-paying, God-fearing American patriots. The media here, not all of it, but much of it, wants you to think, just 19 days into this conflict, that we're somehow spinning toward an endless abyss or a forever war or a quagmire. Nothing could be further from the truth. Hear it from me, one of hundreds of thousands who fought in Iraq and Afghanistan, who watched previous foolish politicians like Bush, Obama, and Biden squander American credibility. This is not those wars. President Trump knows better. Epic Fury is different. It's laser focused. It's decisive. Our objectives, given directly from our America First president, remain exactly what they were on day one. These are not the media's objectives, not Iran's objectives, not new objectives, our objectives. Unchanged, on target, and on plan. Destroy missiles, launchers, and Iran's defense industrial base so they cannot rebuild. Destroy their navy, and Iran never gets a nuclear weapon. Our objectives from day one. To the patriotic members of the press, nobody can deliver perfection in wartime. This building knows that more than anyone. But report the reality. We're winning decisively and on our terms. Iran is a vast country, and just like Hamas and their tunnels, they've poured any aid, any economic development, humanitarian aid into tunnels and rockets. That's what they did with Hamas. Iran has funneled decades of state resources, not to their people, but into missiles and drones and proxies and buried facilities.
All right, so that is Secretary of War Pete Hegseth this hour. He'll, I'm sure, get to the nuts and bolts of it, of the update on what's happening with Operation Epic Fury. He started by remembering those that have died in this conflict. He talked about the media coverage and that the American people are smarter than what they're seeing because their objectives are still on point from what they were to start, which is destroy Iran's defense base, their naval capabilities, and their nuclear capabilities. And he said that there is no perfection in wartime, but we've seen over the last 24 hours or so, Iran has hit energy sites in Kuwait, in Saudi Arabia, one of the big natural gas areas there. They've taken a hit. So their objectives, they say, haven't changed. So this is not the same as those wars of the past, of Afghanistan, of Iraq. That's the latest from Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. Thoughts?
Well, I mean, there's always a grievance, and there's a grievance against the media not portraying the war the way he wants it to be portrayed. It's like, why don't you just get up there and talk about the war and what's going on and sort of, your targets you're hitting and what have you? Why is there always this commentary about media?
Perfection.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is the media can change a narrative, right? They can change the way that people are talking about this.
Yeah, they can.
If you start getting into week 7, 8, I think that's when you start comparing this to something else. I just don't think we're there yet. So I think that's where a lot of the frustration lies, because then it does shape the way people are thinking about this. People are how they approach what this means more broadly for the United States when they don't necessarily have those answers. So I guess that's where the grievance comes from. I don't, these media outlets are going to report based on what they think is the best piece of news to give to people. And, that's obviously something that this administration has never been on board with.
And high gas prices are top of mind with everybody because it's hitting everybody who drives. And the gas prices are high because the Straits of Hormuz are still blockaded. And what's going to happen? He hadn't got to that point, but I was hoping that he would get to that point too, as what they're going to do to try to get that back open again. Because that's a big deal, and that's why our gas prices are rising every day.
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly right. Meanwhile, on a lighter note, it is Tourney Day. NCAA tournament starts today. Michigan State tips off at 4:05. Our pregame starts at 3 o'clock right here on WJR, so you'll be able to hear the Spartans. I know the Edmonds household is going to be dialed into that.
Yes, always. I need to get my brackets done. Got to remember the passwords to all the sites and stuff. Like, this is a yearly thing that I go through. But once I get those brackets done, I'm set and ready to go.
Do you have an inkling how you're going to go with this thing?
No, I'm gonna see how the wind takes me in about 2 hours.
Are you going to follow my 4-year-old's path and take Queens to the Final Four?
That is a bold play.
It was bold. It was bold. I'm like, hey, man, first bracket, you got to get some of those jitters out. I understand. Look, if that kid, if Queens gets to the Final Four, I got to do something magnificent for this kid. He's like a savant at that point.
I'm telling you, talk to that young man if that does happen.
Yes, we'll all be tapping his mental acuity at that point.
Absolutely. Federal prosecutors say they have uncovered more than $13,000 tied to former Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick as they continue to recover that money that he owes, about $823,000. According to a court filing, the money found in a Comerica bank account under a consulting firm linked to his wife. Prosecutors argue that the account is simply a front and that the funds belong to the former mayor. The discovery comes just weeks after Kilpatrick reached a sealed agreement with federal authorities to repay the debt following years of legal battles over his finances. So they found a stash.
They found a little stash.
Yeah, at Comerica.
Yeah. J.D. Vance was also in town yesterday. I talked at Auburn Hills. He said that voters need to double down on Donald Trump, that gas prices will not stay as low as it won't stay as high as they are now, that they are going to come down. But he did say that there was a rough road ahead on gas prices.
Yeah.
And look, I appreciate that candor from politicians. We don't get it very often. But, if he says that it's going to be tough for a few weeks, but then it will come down. We'll see. I paid $3.99 yesterday.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. And I hope
You've
it
been
does.
very affected by that $3.99.
I am very affected by. I was like, $3.99. This is ludicrous. Yeah, but I think a lot of people feel that way.
No, they do.
I think a lot of people feel that way. You go to the pump and all of a sudden it costs you not quite double, but 40% more than it did.
Some people are paying
$2 months ago.
$1 more.
Yes.
That's a lot. That adds up.
It is a lot. Coming up on the other side, an unlikely bedfellow with the Department of War, and they are right here in the state. We'll tell you who that is next on JR Morning.
Hockey fans love the fast-paced action, but not the big league price? Check out Team USA Hockey. Get more excitement and more hockey for less. This Saturday, score big with 2 tickets for just $30 when Team USA hosts Dubuque. Score 2 for 30 tickets at USAHockeyNTDP.com.
Catch the Michigan Opportunity, an economic development series featuring candid conversations with business leaders and innovators across Michigan. Every Saturday night at 11 p.m. on the Michigan Opportunity, you'll hear firsthand accounts on how the state is driving job growth and business investment, supporting a thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem, building vibrant communities, and helping to attract and retain one of the most diverse and talented workforces. The Michigan Opportunity, Saturdays at 11 p.m., sponsored by the MEDC.
Get answers to your retirement planning questions by joining the president of the Brzezinski Group, Brett Brzezinski, for Inside Retirement Tuesday nights at 7. Firm offers insurance services, investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
For more than 55 years, Kitch Attorneys and Counselors has been the name Metro Detroit trusts. Since 1969, our proven defense litigation trial lawyers have delivered strategic problem solving and proven results. At Kitch, you get comprehensive counsel tailored to your unique challenges, diverse perspectives, innovative solutions, precision, dedication, and a team committed to navigating even the most intricate legal issues. Kitch Attorneys and Counselors. Experience matters. Solutions count. Visit Kitch.com.
This winter might not have been the worst one on record, but it's up there. Aside from being hard on people, it's even tougher on our homes. Hi, it's Paul W. for my friends here at Victor's Home Solutions. If the freeze-thaw cycles this winter created even the slightest crack in the shingles or sealant on your roof, you're going to have water in your home this spring when the rains hit. That's why you need to call Victor's today and schedule a free 21-point roof inspection before the rainy season. They'll go over every inch of your roof and review their findings with you. And if they do find a problem, it can usually be fixed with an inexpensive repair. But if it is time for a new roof, you could not hire a better company than Victor's. Over-the-top customer service, highly skilled crews that install a perfect roof every time. And best of all, they offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. So give them a call for your free roof inspection today. 866-VICTORS. That's 866-VICTORS. Or online at victors.com. Victors.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
Few problems on the roads right now. Eastbound M14 at 275. A crash is taking up the right lane. Northbound M5 at 13 Mile. An accident there has traffic slowed at 12 Mile. Haggerty at E-Course, we have an accident. Same with eastbound 94 at the Southfield Freeway. That one's off to the right shoulder. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
All right, good push now. Milder air continuing to settle on in this morning for the drive. Still some scattered showers around. Don't see a bunch, but some. Mostly cloudy this afternoon. Near seasonable temperatures, 48. Tonight, 35. That's actually above average by half a dozen. Mainly cloudy. Suburbs in the 20s in spots. Tomorrow, a few showers around. First day of spring, by the way, 57. Saturday, partly sunny. Nice start to the weekend, 60. But a few showers around Sunday through about early afternoon with a high 55. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
This report is sponsored by WeatherBug.
Get the fastest local alerts and accurate 24/7 forecasts with WeatherBug. It's easy to use and provides real-time customizable alerts so the weather never takes you by surprise. Plan every day with confidence. Download the free WeatherBug app from the App Store now.
All right, here we go. Weekday mornings, it's veteran storyteller and award-winning journalist Kevin Dietz, breaking down the headlines Michiganders are talking about. Kevin talks, and then you talk on All Talk, 9 a.m. to noon on 760 WJR.
Well, an institution here in the state of Michigan might be a hub for future military leaders.
That's right. The University of Michigan being considered as a potential partner for educating U.S. service members. That's according to a new memorandum from the Federal Department of War. The designation comes even as the university faces multiple federal investigations, raising questions about oversight and accountability and what this partnership could mean moving forward. Joining us now to break down this story is Sarah Atwood, higher education reporter with the Detroit News. Sarah, good to have you here.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
The University of Michigan is being considered as this partner for educating U.S. service members. What exactly does that partnership involve?
Yeah, so, to be clear, this is still a potential partnership. We don't necessarily know the status of it or how things are going, but the University of Michigan, among other institutions, was named as potential partners for professional military education. These include other universities like the University of Nebraska, the University of North Carolina, and specifically at the University of Michigan, they're looking at right now making an expedited application process for those who were accepted into the Harvard Kennedy School of Government and now are no longer able to go because of the canceled partnership with the Department of War.
Well, Sarah, what makes it so interesting to me is just the timing, because it comes while the university is still under multiple federal investigations. How unusual is that?
I can't really speak to how unusual it is, but I do think it's interesting that the reason that the Department of War, formerly Defense, gave for canceling their partnerships with some of these more, maybe prominent Ivy League institutions was that they were promoting ideals that were, kind of in contradiction to what the Department of War wanted, or they had relationships with foreign governments that were concerning. And there was a lot of concern over how universities handled protests surrounding the Israel-Hamas war. So, we can think of University of Michigan being named in a lot of those headlines from particularly last spring and summer. Right now, the university is under at least two separate federal investigations by the Department of Education into purported anti-Semitism on campus, and then also into foreign funding and their relationships with foreign governments, particularly the Chinese Communist Party.
Question for you on how this all works. If you're a military service person and you want to get a higher degree, do you go through the Department of War? Like, how does this work logistically, and how then would you be funneled toward Michigan instead of, say, Harvard or Yale or MIT?
Yeah, so, I think it kind of depends on specifically the branch of the military. I do think that they're kind of like, it makes it easier, to have a partnership with an institution. And particularly for the University of Michigan, they have really good graduate level programs and things like naval engineering and things like that. So if you're a naval officer or you're going to be a naval officer and you want to learn more about this to further your career, you want to be able to get into these premier programs at institutions like the University of Michigan. And just it's an easier pathway through the department.
Well, it's interesting too, because the university obviously has leaned into this. This would be a wonderful void I'm sure they'd like to fill. But those schools like Harvard, like MIT, like Columbia and Yale, they were under fire from the administration for how they handled protests with that Israel and Hamas war in Gaza, like you mentioned. But U of M also was under an investigation from the administration for those same issues, the anti-Semitism on campus, some of the protests that they were holding too. So why would U of M be considered here when those opportunities are then being taken away from those other schools?
That's a great question. I reached out to the department and I wanted to ask, what was the specific criteria used when evaluating the University of Michigan? And they just, referred me back to the memo. And as part of the memo, Hegza said he was looking for institutions that valued intellectual freedom, that had minimal relationships with adversaries, and had really good graduate level programs. And I really think that's why the University of Michigan was considered specifically, because of particularly their graduate level public policy and engineering programs that they have. It's kind of like I think it's difficult to cut out people who are doing the best, maybe.
Sure.
What does the military want out of these partnerships, you think, Sarah? I mean, is it about education? Is it about ideology? Is it leadership training? All of the above? What do you think?
That's a great question. And I think maybe some of the priorities have changed with this our current administration. Pete Hegza has said that he really wants to bring back the war fighting ethos. And you don't necessarily think of the University of Michigan for that. But I also think it's like historically it was used to, professional military education was used to train future military leaders and just kind of get some of the skills that they're not getting otherwise, really professional development. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. If it is that these institutions, if there is a partnership with them, if they are living up to what Hegza wants when it comes to what education service members are getting.
What is the reaction from the University of Michigan, from the board, from faculty? Do you have any of that?
Yeah. I think over the last year, we've really seen, I'd say kind of we'll go along with what the administration wants. With former President Santa Ono, there really wasn't much pushback to the administration like we've seen from other schools, particularly, the Harvards of the world. But, they shuttered their diversity, equity, and inclusion office, and that kind of took them off the Department of Education's radar a little bit. But other than that, maybe talking outside of politics, it is a good, like you said earlier, they are able to fill a void with bringing some of these students in. And I talked to the faculty senate chair and he said, why wouldn't they want to be educated here? Why wouldn't we want to educate them? We provide some of the best, world-class education. So we should be able to bring these students in and maybe expose them to like other ways of thinking and things like that they will have on a campus like the University of Michigan.
Sarah Atwood, higher education reporter for the Detroit News. Thank you so much for bringing this to our attention, and appreciate you being here on JR.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, so the Department of Education had opened up an investigation after there was accusations of violating a federal disclosure law. There was also that situation where those two Chinese researchers that were linked to the university were charged with smuggling biological materials into the country, and then the Title IX issues as well. So they were under investigation too.
Coming up, we'll get more information on those Mark Wayne Mullen hearings from yesterday from Fox News. That's next at 8:35.
Are your kitchen cabinets looking tired and outdated? Don't replace them, refresh them with McFarland Painting. McFarland's award-winning cabinet painters transform your cabinets with a smooth factory-quality finish at a fraction of the cost. Schedule today at McFarlandPainting.com. That's McFarlandPainting.com.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit Autolaw.com. That's Autolaw.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hockey fans love the fast-paced action, but not the big league price? Check out Team USA Hockey. Get more excitement and more hockey for less. This Saturday, score big with 2 tickets for just $30 when Team USA hosts Dubuque. Score 2 for 30 tickets at USAHockeyNTDP.com.
Move with ease and trust the official mover of the Detroit Pistons, Morse Moving and Storage. Mention WJR when you call in. Get 10% off your local move or get 2 months of storage free. MorseMoving.com. Let Morse Moving handle the heavy lifting.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. President Trump is calling for an end to strikes on oil sites after Israel and Iran traded attacks and sent oil prices soaring. Trump posting on Truth Social.
No more attacks will be made by Israel pertaining to this extremely important and valuable South Pars field unless Iran unwisely decides to attack a very innocent, in this case, Qatar.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson, a University of Alabama student, vanished while on a spring break trip to Spain.
Police are suspecting foul play in James Gracie's disappearance Tuesday in Spain. The 20-year-old's father is now in the country working with the authorities. A family spokesperson also confirming that police do have James's cell phone, which the family says was found when police happened to arrest the guy who actually stole it.
Fox's Chanley Painter, America's listening to Fox News.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by the Hartford Auto Insurance.
Wait until you hear this. You could save hundreds by switching to AARP Auto Insurance from the Hartford. Visit trusthartford.com. The Hartford, your protection is our passion. The Hartford Insurance Group, Inc. pays royalty fees to AARP for the use of its intellectual property. AARP and its affiliates are not insurers. Savings vary.
Many problems on the roadways this morning on the Jeffries eastbound at Merriman. A crash blocking the 2 left lanes has traffic stop and go from Farmington. Crash off to the right shoulder of eastbound 94 at the Southfield Freeway. Right lane is blocked by an accident on eastbound M14 at 275 and northbound M5 at 13 Mile. An accident there causing backups to 12 Mile. Haggerty at Ecorse, a crash there too. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Cloudy with a slight chance of rain showers today. High of 49. Right now, it's 33. Clouds tonight and a low of 34. Cloudy, warmer tomorrow. High of 60. I'm Renee Vitale. WJR traffic and weather first.
Well, look, there's no surprise that the costs are rising. We're seeing it at the pump. We're seeing it at the grocery store. And when you have to make tough choices, keeping the lights and keeping the heat on should never be one of them. Consumers Energy is stepping up, giving back $5 million to assistance agencies and supporting efforts to increase energy assistance dollars for families in need by 50%. And with personalized energy savings programs, you can actually take the steps to start reducing your energy bills today. So count on Consumers Energy for that support. Learn more at consumersenergy.com/help.
This is Maria.
Friday on JR Morning, we'll update you with all the latest news and information. We'll hear from MSU head basketball coach Tom Izzo, and we'll end your week with some good news right here on WJR, WJR.com, and the always free WJR app.
Yeah, you can tell you're not.
It still sounds a little
Businesses
different,
solve complex tax matters. Learn more at ShindelRock.com.
It's Ryan Armani. Everything costs more right now. Your roof doesn't have to wait. I'm here with Eric from Paramount Roofing, and they are offering a great way to save.
That's right, Ryan. Paramount Roofing is offering 5 years, 0% interest financing for people who need real solutions for their roofing project this year. That means premium materials, top-rated service, payment plan built for real-world budgets.
Call before March 31st to lock in this great offer. Visit weareroofing.com. That's weareroofing.com.
Hey, Jim Harper here. Like many of you, I got
feel better today. That's
surgery
the good
back in
news.
the 80s, and recently I started having trouble seeing, and it turns out
I feel okay.
they never told us LASIK doesn't last forever. So now what? Glasses? I haven't worn glasses in years, and I'm as vain as the next person. But then I remembered Mariana and the staff at Direct Optical Optique and how great they were at finding cool frames that look good on me, because they are frame stylists. You can't get that on the web or a big box.
It takes 5
Nobody
minutes.
has a bigger selection of designer frames
Kind
than
of by,
Direct
like,
Optical
the
Optique.
Asian place,
And
I think.
Mariana still knows everybody by name. She's still selling cool glasses, one pair at a time, with a very personal touch. So if you wear glasses
You had to
now
wake her?
or are wearing them again, you got to go to
What did
Direct
she wear?
Optical.
I didn't put an outfit
Let
out.
them treat you like a
She
star.
picked it?
They're the only ones who can do that. 2 great locations, Haggerty Road north of Maple in West Bloomfield, and in Canton on Ford Road next to IKEA. OptiqueDetroit.com on the web.
Never miss
The Daily
Very
Dose.
sweet. I'm like, why don't we just
Daily
come
Dose.
up with me? That is not here.
of Deets. The Daily Dose of Deets. The top of mind topics and stories.
Came in at 4:45.
Building, innovating,
No,
and
just come in.
growing.
But at a depth and breadth that only Kevin Dietz can conceive.
Love doesn't have to be built on these grand gestures.
Back in 30. It's Can't Miss Radio.
You can't fake that kind of leadership Verlander is going to be able to bring to Schuylkill.
Kevin's own unique take on news and entertainment that will get you talking all day
Social media should not get a pass just because it's digital.
and into tomorrow. The Daily Dose of Dietz. First thing out of the gate on All Talk with Kevin Dietz. Weekdays at 9 on WJR. Stay here for All Talk with Kevin Dietz at 9. Now back to JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Instead of explaining your vote to continue these welfare programs for refugees, you decided to transfer the blame. You told the media that I was a freaking snake and that you completely understood why I had been assaulted.
And that's how the Mark Wayne Mullen confirmation hearing began. It was absolutely unbelievable. Let's break it down. Jeff Manasso, the Fox News reporter, and of course, a WJR correspondent, joins us. Jeff, good morning to you.
Hey, good to be with you.
I don't think that was on anybody's bingo cards to start the confirmation hearing for Mark Wayne Mullen, but he and Rand Paul got into it yesterday.
It might have been on Mark Wayne Mullen's bingo card because the two obviously they don't get along, and that's what Mark Mullen said. Or Mark Wayne Mullen said that look, we just don't get along. Sometimes there's relationships like that, and this is one of them. So Rand Paul was essentially he's just not happy. I mean, he's pointing to statements that Mullen said, making fun of Paul's attack several years ago, by his neighbor that left him badly injured. Accusing Mullen of being somebody who applauds violence and questioning, asking him to explain to the American public why they should trust a man with anger issues. And so some pretty big digs, also calling him a liar, and it's just heard it. But Mullen not being the Mullen that we know, just kind of like the say it like it is type of guy, because look, this is a job interview. And he responded to Paul by saying, he also had a little bit of his own dig, and essentially saying that, I work with many people in this room, but it seems like you fight Republicans more than you work with us, and I think that's where his frustration is coming from. But he said, look, this is, I don't claim to be perfect. I make mistakes just like anyone else, and but mistakes, if you own them, you can learn from them if you move ahead, and I make that commitment to you, Chairman Paul. It's not going to keep me from doing my job. We can have disagreements, with everybody in this room, but as Secretary of Homeland Security, I'm protecting everybody in this country, and I vow to continue to do that. So, saying his goal at Homeland is to avoid the headlines that have plagued the agency, leading to former DHS Secretary Kristi Noem's ouster, and that his goal, if confirmed, which we think he's going to be, is to not lead every single news cycle, for people to understand exactly why DHS, ICE agents, Border Patrol, and others are out there, protecting them.
Jeff, there was also some questions about Mullen's credibility, especially around this so-called classified travel. What exactly are the senators worried about there?
Well, there was they questioned him. They questioned him on that was who was that? That Blumenthal. They questioned him on and or was it Gary Peters?
Gary Peters, yeah.
They questioned him on you fill out a questionnaire as DHS candidate for secretary candidate, and one of the questions was list off all of your overseas travel, and apparently he didn't claim one, but apparently he says that that's classified, and so they went into credibility issues. He's like, look, I can't talk about this with you in a public setting. I'm more than happy to go down to the skiff and you can be briefed, but I got to make sure that what I'm about to tell you is, I can tell you. So some classified information on some trip that he said only about 4 people were in on or knew about, and we'll never know because it's classified. And he vowed to tell those members on the panel yesterday exactly what that trip entailed before they vote this morning. But what was interesting yesterday is that John Fetterman, the senior senator from Pennsylvania, the sweatshirt wearing senator, he showed Mark Wayne Mullen more love than Rand Paul, and Fetterman saying, like, my experience with Mark Wayne Mullen is you essentially you have been just a great guy, honest, trustworthy, and respectful to me. And he's earned his vote, and so we know that Fetterman's going to vote for him. We know that Rand Paul's not going to vote for him. I think 9:30 Eastern time is when they reconvene, and it's wildly expected that he's going to sail through. This is one of those hearings. It's kind of it's got the same vibe of say Amy Coney Barrett at SCOTUS, where there might have been some kind of pointed questions, but it wasn't all that. It wasn't all that sharp, and it wasn't all that heated, and you know what I mean? It was just kind of, I think even the Democrats know that he's going to sail through.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that the Trump administration is hoping that their pick will sail through. They don't want any, they want to dampen the noise around DHS and kind of get this over with.
He was ready for questions about that 2023 altercation where he told the Teamsters president to stand your butt up, and they were going to allegedly physically fight. He was ready for it because he had Sean O'Brien sitting right behind him.
That's right. That's one of the things. If you were watching a hearing, you're like, wait a minute. Wait, okay, that's all right. That's Sean O'Brien. That's the guy. Oh, that's the guy. And then. And who else? I don't know who brought it up. I mean, it was Peters again. Who and he said, like, he supports me. We're friends, and so that one, that one is it was Rand Paul, and part of it's his attack on Mark Wayne Mullen. So that one didn't go anywhere because of the presence of Sean O'Brien. But it was an interesting hearing. Republicans also noted Democrats are holding up DHS funding. 260,000 government employees are going over a month without a paycheck. Many Republicans on the panel blasting Democrats, and it was even Fetterman saying that he agrees with Republicans. That stop playing politics, get these people funded, get these people paid. And so he's not on the naughty list with his fellow Democrats, but I think that's what people like about him, particularly independents. You've got a guy who's not beholden to a single party. He doesn't vote, party line. He generally votes Democrat. But he's a guy who just he kind of says it like it is in his own way, and he sees things how he sees them, and he can vote right or he can vote left. And I think that's some of that's kind of missing in American politics that people just respect. We'll see how Democrats try to primary this guy.
Yeah.
When his time is up.
Jeff Manasso, always appreciate the time and insight. Thank you. We'll talk again soon.
You too, friends.
Yep, you got it. Meanwhile, coming up on the other side, Congresswoman Haley Stevens joins us. She says she's got a way to help save on your electricity bill. It's next on JR Morning.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code Champion25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code Champion25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code Champion25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hockey fans love the fast-paced action, but not the big league price? Check out Team USA Hockey. Get more excitement and more hockey for less. This Saturday, score big with 2 tickets for just $30 when Team USA hosts Dubuque. Score 2 for 30 tickets at USAHockeyNTDP.com.
I love learning about long-standing Michigan family businesses, and one I'm proud to tell you about is Guernsey Farms Dairy. As a mom, I want to make sure my child gets the vitamins she needs to grow healthy, and something that helps her get that is drinking Guernsey Farms Dairy milk. Their award-winning milk, ice cream, lemonade has been a staple in Michigan fridges for over 80 years. When John McGuire started Guernsey Farms Dairy, he had a vision, and now it's continued with the family's 3rd generation. John wanted to create a legacy for his family and the community, and the McGuire family is proud to continue that work today. I've been fortunate to see firsthand how they make their products and learn about the tradition when I met with the family. Remember, when looking for Guernsey's award-winning milk, ice cream, and lemonade, make sure to visit your local grocer, or you could stop by their store and restaurant in Northville for an experience like no other.
Quality that's delicious, that's the Guernsey difference.
People can't have access to quality medical care without affordable health insurance. At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, we understand increasing health insurance costs are becoming more of a strain on the budgets of the businesses and people we serve. Affordability matters. It affects real families, real decisions, and real care. That's why at Blue Cross, we're dedicated to finding solutions. To learn about this critical issue and our efforts to make healthcare affordable for all, visit mibluedaily.com/affordability today.
Crystal here from Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Are you looking for professionals who can make electrical upgrades or repairs in your home or business? From security lighting and appliance circuits to recessed lights, panel upgrades, and so much more. Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical has your electrical needs covered. With locations in Garden City, Madison Heights, and White Lake, we've been serving Southeast Michigan for over 55 years. Visit familyheating.com to find the location near you. Family, not just the name of our company, but the way we do business.
Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your art journey, Dumichel's invite you to discover something extraordinary this March. Explore an extensive estate jewelry collection including Cartier and Tiffany. Find art from important private collections, works by renowned modern masters, and a curated selection of mid-century modern and traditional furnishings. Join online or in person March 19th and 20th with preview open now. Visit DUMOArt.com to learn more and bid. Dumichel's, your #1 place to buy art in the Midwest.
Are your kitchen cabinets looking tired and outdated? Don't replace them, refresh them with McFarland Painting. McFarland's award-winning cabinet painters transform your cabinets with a smooth factory-quality finish at a fraction of the cost. Schedule today at McFarlandPainting.com. That's McFarlandPainting.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather first.
This report is sponsored by MGM Grand Detroit. Get ready to rock as Killer Queen, a tribute to Queen, brings the legendary band's iconic sound and energy to MGM Grand Detroit Thursday, July 9th. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. 18 or older. Don't miss Killer Queen at MGM Grand Detroit.
Eastbound M14 at 275. Still have a crash off to the left shoulder. An accident on Haggerty north of E-Course, and we're seeing slow travel this morning on eastbound 94 between West Grand Boulevard and Woodward. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Weather Seal Home Improvements. This year, don't just get a tax refund, upgrade it. Turn your refund into a bigger return with a brand new roof from Weather Seal Home Improvements. Right now, they'll add an extra $1,000 to your refund towards your new roof. That's a smart deal. Book today at weathersealhomeimprovements.net. That's weathersealhomeimprovements.net. Here's your forecast.
Modifying numbers the next several days. Normal value 46. Going to get pretty close today or above that with mainly cloudy
Back in
sky.
30.
A few showers around this morning. No significant rain. Let's go 48. Tonight, 35, mainly cloudy. Suburbs 20s. Milder tomorrow with a few showers, 57. The weekend will kick off partly sunny and near 60 on Saturday. Early showers Sunday. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
Well, there's a new bill to crack down on how much you're spending on your utilities, and Congresswoman Haley Stevens is heading that up.
That's right. Last week, Haley Stevens, a Democrat from the 11th Congressional District, introduced the Stop Unfair Electricity Prices Act, and it's legislation aimed at holding investor-owned utility companies accountable. How would that work? Let's ask Congresswoman Haley Stevens, who joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I mean, this sounds like a good idea to, I'm sure, a lot of people writing checks or paying online this month alone. How would this work?
Well, we all know that the electricity bills, the heating bills in Michigan are too darn high. The individual interviewing me yesterday in Flint, Michigan, the reporter even told me his bill is too high and that he's hearing this everywhere he goes. And so I'm doing something about it. And my plan is this, that if we see the utility companies, the energy companies raise residential rates, they're going to lose federal funding. If they continue to raise rates, they are going to have to cut executive pay by twice the percentage of the rate, or they're going to have to, lose their federal funding. I mean, we just got to hold these guys accountable, and we've got to do something for Michiganders who just continue to pay the price at every single turn, whether it's your heating bill, your health care bill, your grocery bill, housing stock. Enough's enough here.
Congresswoman, critics might say utilities need flexibility to kind of invest in infrastructure and reliability. How do you balance keeping prices down with maintaining, a strong energy grid?
Yeah, look, there's taxpayer dollars going into this, into infrastructure. I was a part of passing a major infrastructure bill, and I'm very aware of the public-private partnerships. But again, what are taxpayer dollars? Those are coming from Michigan families. They can't be continuing to foot the bill of everything. They just can't. I mean, we got to get these other entities to step up. When, executives are making tens of millions of dollars for a public utility. And, I'm not questioning, people who, love Michigan and are dedicated to Michigan, but come on. I mean, this is just not working for us. And so, when it's your tax dollars and your heating bill, I'm going to be standing up for you.
Well, why are our utility rates so much higher than other places around the country?
Oh, look, we've seen rate increases over the last handful of years. We do have a regulated structure, and a lot of this has to do with rate increases from the past. We're just at a high rate. We're in some cases not raising, this year faster than other places, but we have in total raised more than a lot of other states over the last 5 to 7 years. And it's just not acceptable. Like, we got to do something here. We got to push on public-private partnerships. If we're getting investments into Michigan from outside companies, make them pay for grid modernization. Have them work alongside the utility company. Protect the Michigan consumer. We can't foot the bill for everything. We're trying to feed our families.
According to your release, Michigan's electricity rates have outpaced inflation and risen faster than 46 other states. So if you make that case, there's something different going on here than a lot of other states.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and it's in total. I mean, we have been raising faster, and we have been outpacing in inflation, and it's frustrating. And I just want to do something about it. I'm standing up for Michiganders and what's going on with their pocketbooks each and every single day.
And there's a regulatory layer here too, Congresswoman, at the state level. How does your federal legislation interact with what Michigan regulators are already doing?
Yeah, look, we've got a 3-person public commission that, makes approvals on projects and access. I held a small business roundtable in Detroit last year. I say small business, but the roundtable was not small. It was an incredible community gathering with so many entrepreneurs, and they were talking about electricity costs. I went and visited a family-owned grocery store in Ecorse, and the owner told me that his electricity bill has increased by almost double in the last 5 years, right? So that's the point about the rates raising, right? They can say, oh, well, in the last 6 months. Well, no, we're looking at the last, 48 months. We're looking at, the last 72 months. And that is why we are at such a higher rate in Michigan. So you're paying if you're, in a small business. And by the way, that's impacting workers because, more dollars for overhead, less dollars for workers and other, employees that you want to bring in. You're paying in your home bill. And we just need somebody for Michigan who's standing up for Michiganders and what's going on with their pocketbooks. That's what I'm doing in the Congress on behalf of our great state.
Just really quickly, we have just a minute left here. Do you have any new information, any thoughts on what's happening in Iran at this time? Anything that you've been briefed on or you're hearing from leadership?
Truthfully, this president has decided to go this alone. I don't support the effort. We are seeing yet again American lives lost, troops lives lost, injuries, and also another price, which is what we're now seeing at the gas pump and for your pocketbook. Michiganders are paying for this. It's $1 billion a day, and we don't want another foreign war. So they really are going it alone. It's a troubling time. I'm in disagreement. I voted for war powers, partly because I know Michiganders don't want this war, and another part because we need to have checks and balances. We have co-equal branches of government. Congress should have been brought in from the start, and we weren't.
Representative Haley Stevens, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Hey, thank you, guys. Nice to talk with you.
Yeah, good to talk with you, too. I mean, again, what's happening in Iran is obviously very still much in the sights for those in Congress as well. Yes. You've got Tulsi Gabbard testifying right now on Capitol Hill as part of the intel information that we're getting this morning, and we'll get more throughout the day on what's being said there. But again, Tulsi Gabbard saying yesterday, that's not my job to identify what a threat is. We're giving the president the information, and then he's got to determine if that is a threat that rises to the level of, military intervention in places. like Iran. That's going to do it for us today. Enjoy the basketball this afternoon.
basketball.
Tonight, it's going to be a fun day, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
Go Green.
69. Kevin Deans, go Green, go Blue. Coming up. See you tomorrow.